That feels like a good enough cold open. We're here.
Yeah, I think so.
We're doing it.
Very natural conversation that we would just be having anyway.
Yeah. Whether it makes it onto the full like track or not, Noah, our producer, is finally here.
What's going on?
If you've been a fan of stuff I've done, you know Noah. And now Kaitlin's in the family, and everybody, we're here. Everyone's here. Max is also here, but he doesn't get a job, so we're just going to hope he stays quiet.
He does not want a microphone.
No.
You'd be surprised the amount of people at open mics push Max to get up.
Of course.
Well, I don't know why, of course. There's like, should be people at open mics that aren't comics, so I kind of think people should be excited for that.
I think they just want everyone to be involved in their misery, especially if it's not going well.
Yeah.
They also want to see someone do worse than them if they haven't done it before.
That is true.
Sure.
Yeah.
The only time I was like, it would be funny is at Johnny's birthday roast. I was like, that would be funny. I was like, if you want some of the stuff that I was going to say, and he's like, no, he wouldn't do it.
Johnny and Castaneda had one of the worst roast battles ever at our place.
Oh, tell me about that.
It was not good. I can tell you about it.
Yeah.
I told it to their face. I said, first of all, neither of them could fucking stand up.
Oh, no.
I was like, this is the laziest roast battle. They both grabbed chairs. I was like, this isn't a presidential debate.
Sit down roast?
Yeah. I was like, what the heck? And Johnny always has to like lean on a chair till he's about to break it. So he's like not doing himself any favors. And so well, first of all, it's the first roast battle that you need subtitles for the whole thing. You can't understand either person.
You should have Annie with like cue cards for like what they said.
Oh yeah, so she can fucking point them at the audience on accident?
Just to be like, this is what it's for them to see like a subtitle in real life.
I do one roast battle and now I just roast everything all the time. Noah and I just sit in the car and we pick a person and then we just try to roast the shit out of them.
Just go to town. Yeah. The
really
worst
do. It gets really dark.
Yeah.
And then we start laughing at how dark it is and we're like, we should stop doing this.
Well, shit, Guerrero Roast over here, the roast champion undefeated.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
4-0 now. Yeah, you make me want to.
I missed the fourth one?
Yeah, the fourth one was the one we did together.
Oh, okay, cool.
That was against, who did you? Kennedy, Matt Kennedy.
Oh, yeah, I roasted Matt Kennedy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
He was too nice.
Oh, I bet. He's a very sweet
He just wasn't, he wasn't ready for any
It's kind
type
of hard to think of stuff for him. He's a very, just hipster, basic male.
I think you could pull out 7 easy jokes on that alone.
I don't like.
I know you like saying everyone has AIDS. That's kind of your thing. That's what I get.
Okay.
When you and I work together on roast, you're like, this person had sex with their mom. I was like, okay, that's a bit of a jump.
That's pretty
but
funny.
I always give people like some kind of STD. You're right.
Huh.
You're right.
Is that a little like projection going on? Is it like you have a fear of STDs?
Well, I've had one before, but besides that,
Noah gets so vulnerable off the riff. I appreciate it.
That's the thing, though. He's not even vulnerable. He's just honest. He has no problem.
Well, you got to be,
Dude, the shit he was telling me on the way up. So right now, you're supposed to be able to see part of the Aurora Borealis from Livermore, the Northern Lights.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. That's exciting.
And so we were trying to go see it after improv class. And on our drive up there, he just goes, man, a couple years ago, I used to drive this thing drunk as fuck, going 70 miles an hour. Now, Noah's just became old enough to legally drink. So I'm like, that's hilarious. So, yeah, I used to make snow angels in the gravel. It was a dark time, man.
Man.
And I'm like, okay. And then he'll just easily turn into, man, Chick-fil-A right now be hella good, honestly. It's like, we're just going to skip over that, okay.
Because it's life.
For sure.
That's how life is.
Yeah, I followed it. It was like, I got drunk, I made snow angels, I'm going to finish with Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
Is that exactly. Noah and I have a brainwave going on.
Yeah.
So when did you start drinking?
13.
You strike me as the kind of guy that's going to be sober by 23.
It's already.
It's already happening. I only smoke weed.
Well,
I barely drink.
Mm-hmm.
Barely. It kind of scares me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 13. Started at 13. Started smoking at 13 too.
Okay. 13, big year. You were like, I'm a teenager now.
Massive year.
Fuck all this.
Massive year.
Being a sober.
Summer from 7th to 8th grade. What a time.
Whew. Big puberty.
Like going to college.
Seems that way.
No, it is funny because, yeah, he just turned 21 and then decided that he didn't really want to drink that much.
Yeah.
And it worked out because, honestly, I was starting to cut back on drinking a lot, and I knew your birthday was coming up, and I was like, well, I'm not going to, like, bitch out and, like, not participate if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Even though my personal trajectory was like, dude, I'm about ready to hang this shit up for the most part.
Yeah.
So when you're like, yeah, I don't really think I want to do that anymore, I was like, fuck, thank God. Like, because I don't think I was ready. Like, I don't think I could have actually hung with, like, a round 2. But even then, 2 weeks ago, our place, way too drunk again. With that dude. Oh, a guy confessed his love to me there before it even started.
Oh my gosh. Ricky Martin came all the way from Farrington.
Oh my God. I
my
wish. God, if Ricky
amazing.
Martin did, that'd be a lot better. This guy is like Ricky Martin's ugly ass cousin, Quasimodo.
Oh no.
It was no good.
That didn't make
Literally
you
an
feel
Oompa
pretty
Loompa.
at all, huh?
No, but it was really funny because it's before the show even started. I'm sitting at the bar waiting for people to come in. And I've seen this guy a couple times, and he always is like a really good crowd member because he laughs like really, really hard. And he says to me in Spanish, I love you more than I love myself.
Wow.
And I was like, and I kind of just looked at him and I laughed. And he's all, you know what that mean? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what do you think about that? And
Sorry, I don't want to scream to the microphone. What did you think about that?
I was like, I'm sorry, man. I don't feel the same way. And I know your husband thinks I'm a liar right now.
We'll leave him out of it for the time being.
But yeah, he was like, well, I just want you to know that's how I feel. No matter what, that's how I feel. I was like, okay,
Wow.
that's cool. And then I just roasted him about it for the rest of the show because I was like, I don't want him to ever feel comfortable like that with me again.
Don't ever confess your love to me ever again.
Not if it's not reciprocated. If I don't
maybe
feel
he'll
the
grow
same,
on you.
he'd love to grow on me, I'm sure.
So
But I'm good.
it's a win-win. Is this the guy that had he was like, oh, I'm gonna write a minute, or I'm gonna write whatever and get up? I don't remember his name.
Was it that guy? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it was.
This guy's like 5'3".
He literally looks like an oversized Oompa Loompa from the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
He really does. Yeah, and that's not good for the ego.
Yeah.
Have a guy
we
like
got
that
into my
come
fear
at,
of
like,
Oompa Loompas on the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to be,
Yeah, how did it make you feel getting hit on by that?
It's not my first time.
Oh.
Not my
Been
first
here
time.
before.
Older gay men. Yeah, no, this is not my first rodeo.
This is my sweet spot. Go
And
on.
normally, for free drinks? Are you kidding me? Oh boy, when I was Noah's age and I was almost Noah's weight class, holy crap, I would milk the shit out of that. I would be like, "You're so funny." Like I've never felt like I've been with somebody so mature before.
Wow.
And then right when they go in for the kiss, that's where I'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like I'm like way too scared. I've never done this before." And they're like,
Wow.
"No, it's okay. Like everything's fine." And I'd be like, "No. I have to go to the bathroom." And then I just leave.
Yeah,
And so,
for sure.
but I'd be able to get like 2 or 3 drinks out of it before. Yeah, never got caught. Thank God.
So do you speak Spanish?
I understand it a lot.
You just know when someone's professing their love to you.
You know that part. Well, I
Little
mean,
this, a
there
little
was
that.
eye contact. There was a little bit of like la 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 la
Little
la.
touching,
How you
little
feel
grace.
about that? Yeah. And I
Wow.
was like, whoa there. And I think one of the other comics was there too. You were there.
Yeah, I was there. I was there for it.
And how did it look for you?
Oh, nasty.
Hot?
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm becoming a lot more myself into the microphones on accident.
No, it was very uncomfortable. He like really was trying to get at you before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, before the show.
This is what we hadn't even started yet.
Oh,
I think
you're
you-
like, let me have a couple.
Yeah.
Let me sink
Let me
in.
let me cook first. Let me
I think
earn
he was
it.
prepared for it. I think he had a plan.
Yeah.
Oh
day.
yeah, because this is like the 3rd time he'd come.
You were gonna bring
yeah.
him on stage. You were gonna kiss. Yeah.
I
bet.
did. Didn't I bring him on stage the week before?
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
that was the week I did bring him on stage.
It was that day, yeah.
That was the day I did bring him on
and
stage.
he got mad at you.
He got hella mad. So, because at first I rebuffed his advances.
Lovers quarrel.
Yeah, he was pissed. And then so he started like another guy came in with a leather jacket and I started playing pool with him. And he was like trying to make me jealous. He's like, I'm going to play pool during your show. And I was like,
Oh man.
go ahead. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, that's fine. That's fine.
So I play pool during my shows.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you're not getting to me. And so the show goes on. And about halfway through, after he's had a few drinks, I was like, are you going to come up on stage at the end with me? And he's like, no, I can't do that. And I was like, really? You won't even do it for me?
Wow.
You won't even do it for me? And he was like, let me think about it. Let me think about it. And then he's like going and playing pool. And the whole time he's like, I think in between two different comics, he was about to shoot. And I was like, you got this, baby. And he was like, stop it. You fucking with me. I don't like this. And sure enough, he missed his shot. And I was like, wow, God, you're not even good. Like, just nagging him the whole time.
Oh, yeah. So you hit on this man all night.
I gotta.
Okay. And then you were like, but none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did what to him girls out of my league did to me for years. And it feels incredible.
Okay, well,
I get why you do it.
As long as you feel, don't look over here. I didn't do any of that ever. But
I'm not looking at you being like,
you were like, it feels good. And I was like, I don't know about that, but man,
I'm just trying to look at you more because they can only see us, not them. That's all.
Like where to look all the time. And now Noah's here, so I'm doing a lot of looking over at Noah. He's sitting on this side over here.
We're figuring it out, folks. We've never had this many people in the room before.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's a good time. It's a good time. But yeah, no, that is how that week went. And then it was funny because Jose Contreras came through and he started really being into Jose. And he was like, you're the funniest person, Jose. Aww. And I was like, wow. So that's how it is, dude. That's how it is.
Get jealous. You fell right into his trap.
You have to let him know.
Yeah.
That like, I want him to do X, Y, and Z, but not A, B, and C. Sure. You know what I mean? It's like,
LMNOP for sure.
Don't be trying to grab my butt, but like, tell me I had a good set. Right. I'm just trying to train him correctly.
That's all we want. Don't try to touch our butts. Tell me I had a good set.
Yeah.
That's all a comedian wants.
That's all we're asking for.
Okay.
And I think I'm making a lot of headway because he's been coming to a lot of the shows. And, you know, now we have a much more professional relationship. If he doesn't look at me during my set, I wait. And I go, what is going on? What is the problem? And then he turns around and laughs. And I go, okay. And I continue my set. And it's good. It works out. Sometimes, I mean, especially because I'm in Livermore all the time now. I'm not doing new shit all the time.
Sure.
It's a lot of fucking around. So
You're up there a long time.
What's up?
You're up there a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At both places now, because I got Noah hosting Good Times as well.
How are you liking that?
I'm not that great at it. No, I'm not that great.
Only gonna get better.
I don't have a lot of energy, and I think that's a problem.
That's your own style. That's funny as hell, though, I think, is having like a very low energy host.
Oh, man, but the start of it is rough.
Just know, are you guys ready for another one? This guy.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yes.
Your next person is John Michelson. Get it going for John Michelson.
Exactly.
Like one of those in the background.
And then they're like, all right, I'm glad that's over. Next guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Jacob Parnell does a character where he plays a really low energy person. Have you ever met Jacob Parnell? Probably not, because he doesn't get out of the Tri-Valley too much, but he's one of those guys, he can easily do like 30 clean. So he gets to do all these cool venues, and he's a pastor, I think, by trade. But he does a character sometimes where he puts on a wig because he's bald. And he does basically Noah's act, but more depressed.
Nice.
And it's really funny because he won't even look up. He like puts the microphone and looks like straight down, and be like, "You guys remember metrosexuals?
Yeah.
People who were sexually attracted to the BART train." And yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because he really sticks to that and like lets everybody kind of meet him at that weird energy. Because at first you're like, what the hell? First of all, if you know who it's him and you know he's in a costume, you're like, what are we doing here? I'm trying to get up twice? Is that what we're doing?
And then if you don't know, it's like, whew, what is this wild ride?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like Splash Mountain without the drop.
Yeah.
It's just cold and wet the whole time.
So like, it's a small world.
I didn't think about that, right? Without the singing.
There you go.
You know what's kind of fun about It's a Small World? They keep adding new little Disney characters to the different lands. Yep. I like them telling me what ethnicity, because I get a lot of them wrong.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Until
turns out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like this whole time?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like trying to find them. It's good stuff.
Nice.
Did you ever Do you guys go to Disneyland? I mean, you take your kid, right?
Yeah, funny story. Max hates it.
I can see that. I can see Max hating a lot of stuff.
Hates it so much. Hates.
This isn't Barnes and Noble.
I hate it too.
Yeah, no, he's like, there's not even any books here. There's no birds. I don't. I hate this place. No, he hates it. I grew up growing up, we were a big Disney family. Like we went once a year.
Okay.
And then we started taking our son when he was 4, and we went like almost the same, and then the pandemic. So then everybody took a few years off. But then we went back. Not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before was the last time, like Christmas time. And yeah, no, he still doesn't like it. He doesn't like the Star Wars land. And now I entered us in like this radio contest to win tickets. And he's like, fuck you if we win that. He's like, I was like, isn't that better than not having to pay for the tickets? He's like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Disney. And then our kid was telling me, I want to go on vacation, but I don't want to go to Disneyland or Universal because that's where we would normally go. And then, so now whenever it's on the radio, I was like, too bad you don't want to do Disneyland anymore. And he's like, well, we could do it, you know? And then I'm like, no, it's too late. So yeah, so now I don't get to go anymore.
The last couple times I've gone, I've only gone like with a partner.
Yeah.
And
well, sure.
It's a lot. Yeah, I wouldn't go with someone's kids.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you don't have a kid there to get hyped about it and you're kind of like Disney adulting it, which I wouldn't even say I'm a Disney adult because I'm over it by like a day and a half. I just like the idea of not having to go to work and like having something like not normal to do because we didn't go that often when I was younger. We went like every couple of years, I'd say, which I know some people are like, that's still a lot. But when you go as an adult with someone else, like you can get on everything in like the first 2 hours.
When was the last time you went?
Probably 2017, 2018.
No, you cannot.
No, wait. Stop. No, because it was after COVID. So probably 2021.
Okay, but that's still fresh. So it's like people were probably still masked up. They probably weren't running at full capacity.
So we weren't at full capacity, but we did get to go the one pocket where they were like no masks for like 2-3 weeks. We caught it in like July.
Yeah, so it's not like that anymore.
So I'm definitely not going then.
Yeah, no, that's what's tricky too, where it's like there's genuinely like my parents would pull us out of school to go. And then be like sick because nobody was there. There's never that time now. Now it's like even like middle of the week. Kids, like everybody's doing the pull your kid out of school trick.
Really?
Yeah. So now it's like it takes forever to go do anything. And then you got to pay for like individual ride fast passes.
I heard the fast pass system got pretty fucked up with whole Genie thing.
Yeah.
It's called like the Genie program or something like that.
Yeah. I wanted to ride the new like Star Wars ride that was like brand new when we got there. And it was like, what, $45 per person that you had to pay for that one ride to ride it one time.
Yeah, we did that one. We were there where you could still get a free reservation, but you had to come back like 4 hours later or something. It worked out for us. We actually went on the ride with Terry Crews.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ran into him there. Yeah,
did he do the robot?
Massive no. We were walking into the Star Wars land, and this like heavy set lady is like screaming behind us, and then we turn around and she's talking to Terry Crews. So Terry Crews is standing right behind me, and he's like literally twice my size. And I was like, whoa. And Ronnie was like, ah. It was pretty cool. That was a fun ride. What's kind of cool about that ride, at least, the line really is part of the ride too.
Oh yeah.
They do like a whole thing with it. But yeah, I think Ronnie's gone one time since then with her friends, like recently. Last month, maybe 2 months ago. Nice. My concept of time is so shitty. But she was like, yeah, if I don't go for like another 5 years, like I'm good. And
yeah, it's not cool anymore. It's like, it's super crowded. People are just bumping their strollers into the back of your legs. That's just happening to me, I think, but I don't like that one bit.
What always got me was when we went to the Avengers campus and there's that Spider-Man game that unless you buy the little glove, like it's impossible to like win your round because like you have to do the stupid like thing. But if you have the glove, you can just press this button, and this little kid was just sitting there just finger blasting the motherfucker. And I was like, dude, we're never going to win. I like almost threw up my arm trying to like, because I get competitive.
Oh, for sure.
Like the buzz blasters. Oh my God. I loved it when the ride broke down in the middle and you could just keep racking up points. My brother and I almost got thrown off that thing because we would beat each other up.
Yeah.
Like if it's not like, it's like, oh, because we're both trying to get the bullseye. So we're like swinging with one hand and then trying to shoot with the other. And then they were like, yeah, you guys can't be doing that.
And you know about the hidden targets.
Bro, I know. Don't get me started on ridiculous
I
Disney
my whole
lore.
family, and everyone's like, I don't know how she's so good. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking keep not knowing. How about
Just
that?
flex on your family.
Yeah.
Like,
Max does this cool thing whenever we go to Disneyland where he gets motion sick and like will continue. He's like, I'm going to go ride that ride. I think it's going to be fine. Like with age, he's getting less motion sick. It's not how it works. So it's like, and I have him just like, he has to take a Dramamine before we go to the park. Then I have him with like his seasick bracelets on.
okay.
Yeah, no, he gets motion sick every time, and then we got to take about a 2-hour time out to eat a pretzel and calm down from the motion sickness.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks that you get motion sickness. It also sucks that you ruin everyone else's time. But
That, yeah.
no, I'm kidding.
I'm more upset about that. I'm just like, why are you doing this to us?
No, that's tough because I've never really had motion sickness except for like maybe a few times in my life. But if people that get it regularly, I feel bad because it's not the business.
No. He has to take Dramamine before we take an Uber, so he can't like sit in the back seat of a car and be chill. Yeah. So, yeah, I know, because I always have to have Dramamine on me. Like it's always my motion sickness.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, you're a good wife then.
Trying.
I wish my girlfriend always had drugs ready for me for my
Wow.
ailments. So I'm interpreting this. I was like, "What? You got a free mule? That's awesome." I always have to carry my own in a bag that I can throw away in case I get pulled over.
In my pocket.
What's your favorite thing to ride at Disneyland? Perfect conditions, no waiting in line. Just like walk in, make it happen.
Probably Indiana Jones. If I just why not? I never really watched the movies, but the ride is.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so like I only know the ride. The movies, I'm out. I don't know. There's a lot of film I haven't seen.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've seen Star Wars?
The first 3.
So episodes 4 through 6.
No, not the prequel. Oh, is it?
No, that would be so with Luke and Leia and Han Solo.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Those. I saw those.
You know Noah's favorite character is Anakin Skywalker.
Hasn't even seen the best
you as a Jar Jar
form.
Binks guy.
The best.
He's so confused all the time.
Go on, Noah. Tell me about the Star Wars.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh, Anakin, man.
You're an Anakin guy.
Darth Vader.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he loves his hair.
This is dark and moody all the time. Just moody for no reason.
Hell yeah.
You're like, I was learning all cool Jedi stuff.
The Force.
Mess it up with my bad attitude. Cool.
I hate everything.
Aww.
I just love how Anakin's like character was like would do horrible stuff and then cry about it later. And everyone was like, oh,
Noah.
He's like, and I killed them all and the women and children too. And his wife's like, that's so hot, babe. I'm so into that.
Isn't she not into it though? Isn't that like
she goes
she's
like,
no, you're killing younglings. I gotta.
That's what she says, but she don't fucking.
That's good. Let's get into that's what she said versus that's what she meant. Go
exactly.
ahead.
She's also a politician. So that
For
was like her, the public, I would say that was not good.
Yeah.
And then they end up having twins pretty soon after. So she couldn't have hated it that much.
That's
what I think.
if that's how it maths, I don't know.
I just wish they really got into the subplot of how, so if you watch the cartoons, the Clone Wars, I know you didn't.
No.
No, nor should you.
Thank you.
But they bring back so he ends up having his own Padawan, who's a character in like The Mandalorian.
Sure. Max likes The Mandalorian.
Oh, well, Ahsoka, the chick with the 2 white lightsabers, was originally Anakin's first like Padawan himself when he was a general. And I just think it's really funny because everyone talks about how hot she is and how she was really young. And it was like, no one ever talks about the triangle between him having to hang out with this hot little alien all the time, and then his wife being like, I'm sorry, you guys are going to what planet?
Yeah.
You guys are doing what? And I was like, no, it's cool. We're just going to kill a bunch of little kids. It's all good. It's all war stuff, babe. I promise it's all war stuff.
Did you know that? Whatever he just said? My husband knew that. So, whatever. He's a nerd too.
I've become more of a nerd because of TikTok. Because you get caught up. People will like do these little TikToks of like deep Star Wars lore that like, I wouldn't even say I'm interested in it, but the way that the content is created, it's just so like, oh, before you know it, you spent 2 hours learning about different lightsaber techniques and why one works for another. And I was like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
Why am I?
And now you know.
And now I know.
Hey.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, well, obviously Mace Windu would have beat so-and-so because of the, form 3 of a pod is all defense. And I'm like, that's disgusting that I can just like pop that. And I can hang.
Obviously.
I really can. Same thing with Harry Potter. I think, did we talk about this or was I talking to someone else about this?
We were at Barnes and Nobles. My husband makes me go, and they have so much Harry Potter stuff. I was like, I wonder if Jared is a Harry Potter.
I'm not. I don't like any of that stuff. I don't know how to say it. Like, I can watch them. Harry Potter's my least favorite because to me, there's no logic to the magic. It's just we create spells for everything, which like at least in like The Witcher, there was like you have to give up something to make something.
And the cool witches, whatever that is. Sure.
The Witcher? You watched The Witcher, didn't you?
No.
On Netflix?
No.
Oh, well. It's
I'm
a
watching
show.
Love is Blind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of good magic in that.
Go on.
Mostly love magic.
Some kind of magic. But The Witcher is a cool witch.
The Witcher has very little to do with witches because witchers are like mutated people that hunt monsters.
Because he's a witcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
But don't think of Witcher as just the male version of witch.
Okay.
That's not, the name's similar, but he's different. He's like a
Witchacho.
well, because the male form of a witch is a warlock.
Obviously.
Obviously, dude. Come on.
I know what you're talking about. You have to tell me
I'm
that.
about to bust out my own fucking flute. Like I'm about to McCusker your ass right now.
That made me so happy. Go on.
No, in The Witcher, The Witcher is a world where is like a normal world like us, and there's a world of monsters. And one day, this thing happened where some of the monsters poured into our universe. Also, with that came these mushrooms that if you ate them and didn't die...
No wonder you like this show.
It's a great show.
Go on.
If you ate them and you didn't die, you got superpowers. And those guys became witchers. They become infertile, but they live for like 600 years. They kind of look like vampires because they have really pale skin. They have cat eyes, and they're super fast, like can drink these like potions that would normally kill normal people, but they have to drink these potions to kill like werewolves and all that type of shit. Now, they also have wizards and shit in that world, but in that world it's like you can't just cast spells off your own magic ability. You have to cast a spell, you have to like sacrifice something. So there's it's like a currency to magic. So that to me was a little more like, oh, okay, I can wrap my head around that like magic costs energy, but like in Harry Potter it's just like, oh, there's a magic for this, and there's a spell you just haven't heard yet. Because the thing I was thinking, what happens if you can't talk? Can you not cast spells?
No mute wizards.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or if you're deaf, so what? You're just screwed.
Maybe they're not. Yeah, I don't know.
The one thing they do say.
Take it up with JK. She's got all kinds of
I
hot
know
takes.
the one thing they kind of talk about at the later stages is that like Voldemort's so strong he doesn't have to say the words. He can just cast the spells. So they at least kind of hint to some level of like. I don't know, mastery, but like the whole thing with like, well, your wand picks you, and I don't know, it gets weird for me.
Wasn't
it's
it
cool,
because
man.
Yeah,
it's cool, man.
get
Lame. It's lame.
It's cool, man. The Witcher, that's just bad advertising. Where's the witches, dude?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
gonna back Noah up on this. I
Yeah,
think.
you guys can all have the wrong opinion.
Do you
That's
like
totally
Harry
fine
Potter?
with me. The whole room could be
What?
against
Do
me.
you like Harry Potter?
Yeah, kind of.
That's impressive because you're so much younger than us.
Yeah, I do like Harry Potter.
So
Never
you
saw The
like-
Witcher, though. I can't have an opinion on
Check
it.
me out. I saw them in theaters. It was like we went with our elementary school. It was a big to do.
This is her version of we had to walk to and from school
Yeah,
in the
I
snow.
saw it in the theaters with the seats that didn't recline.
Oh my
That
God!
didn't
Someone get
reply.
grandma out of here.
No, but say you like really like you had to really
I had a
watch
T9
it.
text my friends.
Yeah,
and
well,
say-
yeah, right. We had cell phones. Get the fuck out of here. We had to call each other on the house phone. Then we'd have to ask for our friends. And then we'd have to talk to their mom. Yeah. We're the same age, Jared. Chill out.
I can't relate to this experience.
Well,
We had cell phones by the time we were 12.
Yeah, well, that's not when Harry Potters were coming out. Like, you're getting towards the end of them.
Weren't they?
I was for sure in elementary school when I started going with like Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay. I mean, I'm not
Second one,
You can totally be-
Chamber of Secrets. I got there.
with second one.
Second one.
One after second one.
Yeah, the Prisoner
then
of Azkaban.
the one with
Prisoner
the
of Azkaban
bird.
is Max's favorite.
Remember the one Harry goes to prison?
Yeah.
God, I love that episode.
Then there's the one where they all do the challenges together. For sure.
I would love to like name them like just like Fancy Rock, Snake in the Basement.
Did you
Harry
ever
goes to prison.
Did you ever watch? There's like a documentary on HBO on Max that is like the making of like the filming and like the behind the scenes of the Harry Potter series.
I haven't.
You might like that since you really like, it seems like film and TV and acting and stuff. Like they talk about like all the creative choices that were made. Like each there's only like a director that'll do 1 to 2 movies. So they have so many different directors, and then they kind of talk about like that choice. So you might like that. That might make you like some parts of Harry Potter since magic isn't cutting it for you.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I
guess.
don't dislike Harry Potter.
Well,
Lord of the Rings is cool.
sure.
I like that. That one was again like nerded out really hard on that.
Yeah.
And that author, it's like you could understand, like you could even learn all the languages that you see. Like he actually created like ciphers and alphabets. So like if you're watching the movie, did you ever watch Lord of the Rings?
I was forced to go see the last Lord of the Rings because I think I was in middle school. My dad was like, "We're gonna go see this Lord of the Rings," and then I was like, "This shit is like three hours
It's a
long."
slog. You have to like it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't fucking know what's going on. So I saw the last one at some point, but I don't have any.
Yeah.
I know Katy Perry's husband is in the Lord of the Rings.
Who is Katy Perry's husband?
Orlando Bloom.
Oh yeah, they're not still married, are they?
Yeah, they are. She just got like a VMA, like Video Vanguard Award, and he was there. He was cringing through her whole.
I didn't know they were married
performance.
still.
Come on.
Yeah, he played Legolas.
They have a daughter. Her name
Oh,
is
that's
Daisy Bloom.
right.
Yeah. No one recognized him because he's in a blonde wig.
Yeah.
I knew
That's
that.
where they tried to bring him into The Hobbit. That's where
Uh-huh.
they lost me. When they did the trilogy for The Hobbit, which is one book, they turned one book into 3 movies, but then all
Thick
the other
ass
ones.
book, dude.
It's not though.
It's kind of.
It's no thicker than the. I know you're just being devil's advocate today. I get that you're just being a little feisty
I just
Bills
wanna be a
fan
little-
today.
Just want to be a contrarian.
I feel it. I know. I listened to last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Other people like it. I don't.
Dude, 53. I checked before we got here. 53 views. I think only 4 of those are me. So
Nice.
That's fucking.
I know, and that's with no promotion.
I know. So I think we're piggybacking on the Virgo male.
I don't think they're coming because of
you-
that.
You don't
Because
think-
they're
I
completely
don't know
separate
how
channels.
algorithms work. So
I kept everything.
I was like, Jared's in this one. Jared's in that one. That tracks.
I kept everything completely separate because I still don't know if and when I'm going to let everyone know that this is happening too because
I know.
of alliances that have been made.
Because of your secret life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Too many secret lives. Losing track of them.
Mm-hmm. So nerd stuff. You want to?
Yeah. So I would say I can hang with nerds on nerd stuff. Do I feel any type of way about those things? Like
No.
people like to no.
Well, you're the what? You're the 4 to 6 feelings guy. You're like,
Yep.
I'm always in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it's all made up to me. I think that's the thing. It's weird when people get mad about stuff that's
Everything's
not
made
real.
Up, always. Everything's made up. Somebody always makes something up. You know, like I always tell. Whenever I'll say at home, I'll be like, that word's made up, and then Max will hit me with like, all words are made up. Somebody had to make them, and I'm like, damn.
True.
Fucking
True.
facts.
True. I think what I mean when I say that though is like if someone goes, did you know that Aragorn wasn't the first person to hold that sword? And I was like, you don't know that because that's not true. That's just a story. Like there's no real, you can't know something that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel about it. So people will
For
get into
sure.
these arguments and be like, well, the Hulk is definitely stronger than Thor. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because in this particular book, he was this way. And it's like, wait, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Like, go get laid.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
All right.
It's literally what I feel about it.
Go to our place. Jared knows a guy.
Come on. I know a guy. He's
You-
hungry.
You can get
If
laid,
you are
dude.
Latino, my God, come on. Come on now. I bet he would put work in.
Nice.
I don't think he's gonna be like a lay. I think he's gonna be like a
okay.
real, like
I
a
didn't
real.
understand it at first. I was like, we're gonna get there through context clues, and we did, baby.
Well, we were texting this morning. We were talking about how you were like, I've always been just very formal. You never had like a hoe phase, which
I did
is like,
not.
that's what you said.
No, I did not. I did not have a hoe face.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in agreement. Not
You
being a
said
bitch
that's what
for
you
no
said.
reason.
That's what you said. I won't pull up the receipts.
It's fine. That's the whole thing. It's just reading our texts. Good podcasting.
That would be a pretty good one. Just the ridiculous parts where the conversation stops making any sense to anybody because it's just who's doing a bigger bit
yeah.
to the other
A
person.
lot of bits doings over text.
That's kind of the only way I know how to interact with people over text message. But
and you did have a hoe face. That's what we were
I
kind of
did.
getting into.
Yeah, I did. I had a couple of them, little spurts. 'Cause I couldn't hang on to. I couldn't do it. I couldn't like commit to the life for forever.
Right.
I'd do it for like 2-3 months, and then I'd feel really bad and be like, "This isn't nice. I shouldn't be using people." And then I'd like date somebody that I didn't really like that much, and I'd be like, "This is lame. Like, we have to break up." And then I'd do it again. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I don't like doing this." Did that cycle for 10 years.
Mhm.
Well, 6 years, because then I met Ronnie, and I was like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like, this works. This
Yeah.
is cool.
You're like, we're going to stop doing just hoe stuff, and we're going to, you and specifically your girlfriend.
Yep.
You're like, we're going to stop, but not in the way I'm used to. We're going to stop in like the
What
big
was
boy relationship.
kind of, yeah, because what was funny was when she and I first met each other, we were just like casually seeing each other,
Yeah, for sure.
which I think was the best way for me to get into a long-term relationship because there wasn't this like pressure of
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think when you meet a girl with the intention of trying to be her boyfriend, you can't help but like try to be the best version of yourself. But when you meet somebody as like a casual friend, it's kind of like it's all out there.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Do you want to hang out?" I'm like, "No, I don't feel like getting laid today." Like that was like the person she knew at 1st, and then I was like, "I actually kind of want to hang out with you," and like, I don't care if we like, you know.
Whoa.
And I was like,
Intimacy.
yeah, exactly. And that was actually her response too. Her response was like, "What?"
This is too close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I had to convince her. I was like, "No, I think I really like you, and you know, do you want to date?" She's like,
My
I don't
heart
know.
has a boner for you.
Yeah, exactly. And she was like, "Ooh, I didn't know that was gonna happen." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, we can just keep doing this.
And then
That's
she
fine."
had the ick immediately.
She so
She
did.
was like, what the fuck?
She did.
Yeah.
She had the ick hard.
I bet.
Yeah, and then she's like, "I guess." And I
Mm-hmm.
think our relationship starting with a "I guess" was actually really good for us because then it was like, yeah, this might totally crash and burn in like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then 7 years down the line, we're like, we're still fucking doing this thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We're going to move in.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I know, and that's probably when we're gonna kill each other.
Is that at the end of the year or the beginning of next year? Or
Technically, it's
some
gonna
weird
be-
other time?
Like legally, it's gonna be January 1st, but I'm gonna have her shit probably moved in by December. You know, I imagine that last month because she's
Home
gonna
for
be
the holidays, you know?
yeah.
It's
Well, she's
sweet.
gonna be in Vietnam for the holidays.
Aw.
So that'll in that time, I think we're gonna try to push all of her stuff in here and kind of have everything settled. So by the time she gets the keys back to her other place, it's just kind of done. But we shall see. We shall
Do you
see.
put a Christmas tree up in here? Do you celebrate Christmas?
I
So let's
do,
start there.
but I'm pretty lazy.
Ah.
Like, I did one year, and then I don't think I did last year. The hard part about my work is like that's a really, really busy time for us. And so like, especially in my older job when I was actually in the hospitals, oh God, I was working like 10 hours, 10 hours a day. So it was like, I came home, I just collapsed. Like the house was a mess. And before I knew it, like it was New Year's.
Yeah.
So now that I actually have like the bandwidth and to do that, probably, but comes and goes. My mom always decorates her house really pretty, and I end up spending a lot of time over there anyway. So it's like, what's the big deal? But when I had a roommate here, we made sure to actually like do it.
Cute.
Yeah.
You think Ronnie will want to decorate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice, cool.
No, for sure.
I'm so
Funny
excited.
thing, my old roommate tried to convince him, like, tried to tell me that he had a crush on me too, and I was like, no, you don't. Yeah.
All right, we're
It's
starting to
actually
see a
really-
theme.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was
Jared keeps hitting on men and then being
No,
surprised
this
when they want to have sex with him. Okay, that's what we're doing. Cool.
This one I did not give
This
him
one I
any.
didn't hit on.
I did
I
not.
just told him he was beautiful every day that
No,
I
I
saw
didn't.
him.
In fact, I told him, I was like, I need you to grow up and stop being like a weenie about stuff, because he was very sensitive kid, and we worked together, and that was the whole thing. I was like, you can come live with me, because he was like, he liked a different girl that we worked with, and this girl ended up becoming Miss California. And I'm like, you're not gonna get Miss California. I just want you to know, you guys.
Not with that attitude.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't
Shoot
gonna
for the
happen.
stars,
It
big
wasn't.
dog.
It
Fuck
wasn't-
yeah.
it wasn't
Be
gonna
Mr.
happen.
California. Where are you? What is this?
Wasn't gonna happen.
And then, now he's hitting on me. Okay, what? How do we make that leap,
Yeah,
Jared?
yeah.
You were
I'm getting there.
You were like, me, Mrs. California. Same.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying was, originally, this is before he showed any, and this is the thing, I don't even think he was gay. I think he was so introverted that he ended up only literally like staying in his room all the time. I was the only person he talked to, and I was the only person who was like encouraging him. And that's why
Yeah.
when he came to me, he's like, I think I have feelings for you. I said, I think you haven't got outside at all.
Oh.
And I'm the only guy you know. So, you know,
I love this guy to be like, I think I have feelings for you. That's so sweet. I could never be vulnerable in such a way.
every week he'd
He's
come
just
back.
one of those I like people kind of people.
Every week he'd come back with a different ailment. He'd be like, yo, I think I have autism. And I was like, I think you're inside too much. And then like he'd disappear for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as long as he was paying his rent, I didn't really care like, what he was
Sure.
up to. So then he'd like pop.
You whatever you want in there.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, by all means. And so, yeah, he'd pop out. And I started inviting him to stuff. Again, I could tell he was like going into like a hole. This was during COVID too, so there wasn't like too much stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, one day I was like, hey, I'm gonna go grab beers like up the street. Do you want to come with me? He's like, yeah, okay, sounds good. And I was running a comedy show with a friend of mine, like just on Instagram Live. We do it once a week, and I started making him part of the show. And so, it was like an hour or so before our friend was gonna come over, and he's like, hey, I gotta tell you something. And I was like, all right, what's up, man?
It's not an opportune time to tell you
No,
that.
exactly. He was
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I feel like, I feel like I might have feelings for you. And I was like, stop right there.
Hammer
It's
time.
like, hey, man, you've never seemed gay to me at all. Like, I've never even kind of picked that up on you. But what I have seen you do over the last 6 months is really like not talk to anybody. And I'm like, before you jump the gun, and try to do anything goofy here.
Sure.
Because I wasn't getting any free drinks out of the situation, so there was no point to like indulge.
Nothing in it for me.
There was nothing in it for me, so I had to shut this down.
Right. As you did.
As I did. And then eventually he ended up moving out, and he has not been with a man ever since. So I'm like, yeah.
So you guys stay in touch?
I check up on him every once in a while.
That's sweet.
Yeah. But so originally I did bring him in the house because
I bring him in the house. He's a house roommate.
he's the house roommate.
Not an outside roommate.
I had him move in because he and I, when drinking before we ever lived together, and he was like, you're like a real man. You're like a dude. And I was like, oh, thanks. And because we were in a theater company, so a lot of the guys were kind of like gay adjacent. I was the only straight. We were like the only two straight guys in the thing. And he's like, I want to know how to like be more like you. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can like teach you that, but like I need a roommate. If you want to come live with me, like you can come hang out.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And come to find out, it's just like a discipline thing. He didn't have that like, and I don't even think this is a man thing. I just think this is being an adult thing. Like, I don't feel like doing this. I should do it. That was mostly what I was telling him.
Yeah.
It's like, you want this, so you have to start doing this.
Sure.
And same thing with Noah. Like when I met Noah was a young kid, like wanted to get good at stand up. I was like, come hang out. You'll get better at stand up. And have I ever not pushed you?
No, you've never not.
As soon as he could host, I'm like, you have to start hosting good times. You have to start doing this. Like
always putting me in the uncomfortable situation.
Yeah,
which
same
is
thing I
good.
did with that kid, except Noah could hang and like grew out of it, and this guy thought he wanted to suck my dick. So I was like, well, results may vary.
No, watch out, dude. Does Jared ever hit on you? Okay, that's gonna be where you need to shut it down.
You have to say it into the microphone.
Okay, no. Let him laugh. Let him live.
I think this episode is going to be Jared might be gay? Question mark.
All the men around Jared just happen to be gay.
Hey, you know, I don't think that's anything to do with me, to be honest.
Sure,
with you.
yeah. No,
I
there's no
survived.
common denominator.
I have
in
a
any of
girlfriend. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
He
good.
does. He has a great girlfriend. She's
Yeah.
He
very
has a
sweet.
heart boner for his own lady, for sure.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So you don't have the same effect on women around you?
I'm unaware of any effect. I don't ever expect I'm putting out an effect on anybody because Max and I, we've been together for like 8 years now. Yo, crazy. At one of the open mics, some guy was like, I obviously sit with Max, and then I went to the bathroom and he was like, can I buy you a drink? I genuinely did not even know how to answer such a question anymore. Because in my head, I'm like, that's not me, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, obviously. And I was like, I unfortunately laughed at him, and not in a mean way. I was just already a little drunk. And so I was just like, no, I don't.
No.
I was like,
What a great. No.
I was like, what are we talking about, dude? Because he's like out where the open mic's happening. You see me with Max the whole time. And I was like, no. And that's all I could get out. Because that's the thing too, is it's just like, once I get up, then I'll normally have like a beer or two. And then it's like, oh, I thought I was done with words. I started drinking. So it's like, I'm not responsible
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't love how I handled it. I've never seen him since, but that happened like a couple months ago. And I was like,
do you like
do that.
you like yourself drunk? Like, do you like the person you become when you're drunk?
I'm mostly just sleepy. So
That's
not really.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm tired and then I just want to go home. I want to get Chick-fil-A. That's why I understood that earlier. And then I want to go to bed.
I ask because as I've started to drink less and less, the times I do drink, I think I'm more able to recognize how different I am, like when I'm drunk versus when I'm not drunk.
Sure.
And I'm like, ooh, I don't know that I like this drunk person.
Yeah.
Like on one hand, very fun, like a lot of like, but the internal storm of like all the dumb shit I want to start doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, like this is very destructive. And I think I was.
Why do I want to hit on this man right now?
Why do I want to? But in a way, it's like, yeah. Why do I want to squeeze like? Why do I want to like egg people on and like
Yeah.
get stuff out of them? Like that's a very real thing though. Like I know you said it
Yeah.
like a joke, but there is an underlying thing that is absolutely true. Where it's like, oh, if I feel like somebody wants something from me, I want to like act like I'm gonna give them that thing, get something, and then like run away. And I'm like, that's horrible. But it is so much fun.
Yeah.
But when I'm sober, it's very much like that's not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
When I'm drunk, I'm like, can we do it? Can we get away with it? Can we?
Yeah.
It's like I know you wouldn't understand this because you've never watched Indiana Jones, but it's like, can I grab my hat before the door closes? Like, can I slide right
That's
under
not
the
a part
thing?
of the ride at Disneyland. I don't know.
I know.
There's
I
a
know.
big boulder. What part is the boulder?
It's actually in the same scene, same sequence. So
Never mind. I do know.
he has to. It is right. It's just it's
think
in
so,
Raiders
right?
of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, like
Because
that's
now I'm
how-
starting to
what-
think it's Temple of Doom, but perhaps
Oh,
not.
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn, we're gonna have to watch it as a
Everybody's
family.
not as big Indiana Jones nerds as they thought earlier. Uh-huh.
Oh, I never claimed to be Indiana Jones nerd.
Well, that's kind of the thing too, where it's like I keep thinking about you coming from like a Hollywood-ish background,
Mm.
you know, where it's like producing, you know, that's kind of how I see what you're talking about. You're like, oh, I'm gonna like neg this person until I get a reaction.
Uh-huh.
You're kind of like producing for a reality show at all times.
Yeah, that I'm the star of.
For sure.
And it's
we
yeah,
need to
like
get you
I
one
gotta
of
make sure
those-
we're having a good episode.
We should get you a little camera, a little like what is it? A GoPro.
Well, now they have those glasses that you can wear. Yeah, that'd be funny.
I almost bought those on accident.
That is a good way to look at it. And I think especially when I'm drunk, I'm like, how do I have the most fun tonight?
Yeah, you're
And if-
producing for your own reality
Exactly.
show.
Yes. I just start doing shit that's like, oh, this will be a great little
Yeah.
subplot.
Mhm.
Like after our place, that same night we got pretty drunk. You guys were with the guy who like loved me.
Yeah.
You, Annie, and they were in the front. I was in the back talking to someone else. And then I just started lying to them. Started
Aw.
making stuff up about my life. And I
Don't
was
do
like,
that to me, please.
no, I wouldn't do it to you. I know you
you.
too much. I only could do this
Okay.
because I was never
'Cause I
going to
want to
see
be real podcast family.
we are a real
Real
podcast,
family doesn't lie.
Not to each other.
Okay.
But the Italian in me goes like, you lie to everyone outside of the family.
Right. Sure. I don't care about that. Go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna be like, yeah, he did that shit. I'm gonna back that up. I'm gonna be like, I was there.
that's exactly what I want. Yeah. But yeah, no, I started making up goofy, not important stuff. Like I have a sister. Like I literally got my haircut like right before we got here, and the
You've
lady
had such a productive day.
always mistakes me for someone else. And I know it because she goes like, "Oh, how's your son?" And I don't correct her. I go, "Really good."
Yeah,
really
I do
good.
that.
Yeah, no. So
I don't fault that.
So I'm doing that.
Yeah, like you lied to the guy that was hitting on you. You're like, yeah, I killed a guy.
We're like, yeah,
I
like
did tell him that.
And then he came to me. He was like, "Did he kill a guy?" I was like, "Yeah, he fucking killed a guy, man." It was like, it was intense.
Because you are a good person. Yeah. He's like, what I love about you is you're a good person. I said, dude, I've killed somebody.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you haven't. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, I did. And I like kept eye contact with him. And then Noah's watching this whole thing. And I said, seriously, and I went up to go pee. And he asked Noah. And
he's like, for sure. He's like, he told you that? That's crazy. He must really trust you.
Yeah.
And like you.
Exactly.
So you're just doing impractical jokers
for myself
at all times.
All the time.
No, I get that though. I could care. Like I'm big on like I don't care about people I'm never gonna see again. I mean, your haircut lady might be a little different, but I would totally go with something like that.
It's funny because I don't go to the same lady.
Well,
so I go to like 2 or 3. I go to the same place.
Sure.
And I want to know who this guy is. Like she keeps thinking I am.
Yeah.
Because he tells her everything. Because she's following up on
like,
previous.
You still cheating on your wife?
Exactly. And I go, oof, honestly, I
don't know how to stop.
And I'm doing it with a guy now, and I just don't know. I met him at our place. Yeah. So I just go along with it, and it's so much fun. So I'm like, what's it? She goes, oh, did you move up from Santa Cruz? And I said, yeah, no, I did. I'm up here now. She goes, that's good. That's good. She goes, why'd you leave Santa Cruz? I'm like, way too many homeless people. Yeah. And she's like, you're right. Like she felt so vindicated. She's like, yeah. And I was like, honestly, I love it out there. I love the beach. The little one loves it. Because I've kept track of what I remember this character. This character has a daughter who's about 12. And I'm like, I had to get her out of there. It just wasn't safe. She's like, no, I get it. I totally understand. And then she didn't ask me anymore, but I was ready. I was ready to be like, yeah, wife's got cancer. We're working through that. Like, I was going to do a whole thing. Then it'd be fucking great that it flips around and he goes, your wife with cancer. He goes, what? My wife doesn't have cancer.
No, I was like, I would to be a fly on the wall when the actual man comes back. Dude, and he's like, no, I'm still in Santa Cruz. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be great. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that to like the other parents? See, that's got to be hard because, they're going to see you regularly. So
do I ever lie to the other parents?
Like
I'm like, yeah, I want to be here. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I want to be here.
Yeah, I want to be at practice for sure. Obviously, I do. No, there's not a lot. It's weird. Parents are like antisocial now. In comparison, I'm going to look over here. Noah's young. But like in comparison to like our parents.
Yeah, I have a 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah. Oh, well, I forgot about her. No, but like my mom, like her friends to this day are like, she met them because we all had the same 3rd grade class. So parents used to be really like, were your parents like that? Were your parents talking to other parents?
Until we moved here.
Yeah. And then they were like, fuck this place.
Yeah, man, fuck
I'm
this
not
place.
talking to these guys.
Yeah, no. In LA, they were like kind of connected, but over here, not at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, so parents are very like kind of keep to themselves. Actually, like I was like, oh, my mom friends, because our kid's birthday is in summer, and it's like, so he always kind of misses the mark to like have a birthday party because like it's like your school friends, but then his birthday happens and they start school right again. So he doesn't know. So I like reached out to 2 at like the end of last year, and I was like, hey, we were all chaperoning a field trip. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Our kids seem to like each other. I don't dislike talking to you. Would you like to be mom friends? And should we exchange contact information? And then they were like, yes. And so then in my phone, it's so-and-so's mom and other so-and-so's mom. And then we had a little birthday party. It was sweet. But yeah, so that worked. Yeah, you have to.
That really awkward approach worked.
Yeah, I was like, would you like to be mom friends? And they're like, yeah. And they were like, sick. And then, and it's nice. And I think they both appreciate it too. Cause like we'll text and be like, hey, whatever, let's do this thing.
Damn, y'all texting now too?
Well, yeah, that's how we got in contact. And so yeah, I didn't have an Instagram then. You're gonna teach me Instagram once we wrap this up.
Yep. Yeah, gonna teach. I love that you don't know Instagram. I'm jealous. I'm jealous that you've been able to stay away from all that stuff.
So imagine how I'm feeling now. You know, I'm just real sick over it. I'm just like,
yeah.
I don't like it now. I'm following like 4 people.
Ooh.
My phone is blowing up. I don't know how.
Just turn the notifications off.
I think that's what you're gonna have to show me how to do.
Okay, I'll show you how to do that.
That's gonna be the first step, and then whatever. But I'm like, God damn, these people are posting a lot.
Yeah. Woo. Oh boy. Okay, wait. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
The crazy things that certain comedians they post all day long.
I don't.
All day long.
I just clear the notification. I'm not on there. Because
yeah.
I don't know how to look at your regular pictures and how to look at your pictures that go away.
Your story versus your wall posts?
I bet, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you know what a Facebook status is. When you just post something on the wall, like...
I don't do that.
I know you don't.
I don't.
I know, because you're an adult.
Is that just when the people, like, because when I'll go onto Facebook, because I have Facebook now, but when I go onto Facebook, it'll just be some random person words?
Yep.
Sure.
Some people be posting them random words all day long.
Yeah.
And I go, like, you clearly don't have a job.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Some people I love. Like Hatch posts all the time. Mm-hmm. I know when he's hitting the heavy bag. Mm-hmm. I know when he is having lunch. Mm-hmm. I know when he is about to go and to a mic. Because he uses the same thing. You want to talk about living your own reality show.
Yeah, yeah.
Anytime he is going to go out to a mic, he goes, and Hatch departs seeking stage time. Incredible.
That's cool.
Incredible.
I like that. Do that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like that.
Uh-huh.
If he had a good night, I spoke and people laughed. Hashtag my shit's funny. Mm-hmm. Love it.
Hashtag live your dreams.
Yeah, well, that's his like trademarked one. My shit's funny.
My shit's funny.
That's what he does. And shit's with a Z.
I'll be sure not to use it.
Yeah, otherwise people are gonna think you're Hatch.
I don't.
Yeah.
I already don't want to get confused with Kevin.
The other thing he always does in the morning is he said, "I will keep positive thoughts in my head today."
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I would read that.
That's good.
And I'd be like, I'm happy I read that.
It's good stuff.
Most of the shit, I'm like, what the fuck?
No, there's some people that are like, can't believe that he keeps cheating on me. Like, what the fuck? Where the mic at? And I'm like,
wild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you see this person, like, if you don't, you just see this person and they're like, oh my God, Kaitlin, hi, how are you? And you're like,
I gotta act like I didn't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what? And that blows my mind that, like, people can be so comfortable just firing off.
Yeah.
Firing off.
I just think, and that's the thing, too, where it's going to sound weird of me to want to get into stand-up. And I don't know, something about that is like, I like that, where it's like, hey, check out this crazy thing that happened this week or whatever. I like that in the stand-up thing, where I kind of feel like, not necessarily at open mics, but one day when I do a comedy show where people know comedy is happening there, they're going to want to come and hear what I think is funny that happened that day.
I think it's way different when it's on stage, for sure.
Oh, for sure. But so it's like, for me, it's just the idea of like documenting your day. Hatches sounds very funny. That I would be interested to check out. Great. But like just to be notifying everybody all the time about your movements.
Not even just your movements, your ups and your downs.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm only going to post like, oh my God, like the landlord killed my dog this morning. Like, what the hell?
Which that's
then
wild.
The next one is like 9, please, at like Blarney
What does that
Stone.
even mean?
When you pre-sign?
Oh, okay. Yes, that I know. I know how to do that, but my bad.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like the juxtaposition. You can see that like one was posted at 4:32 and then the other one's posted at 4:35.
Well, they have to talk about it. That night, they're like, I got to talk about this.
I got to make sure.
Piss off my chest.
But that's not what they're doing. They're going to go up with the same shit they've been saying for the last 6 years. You know?
They might. I don't know. They might have a new hot take on it with this dog.
You think so?
Landlord incident.
Is that what you're seeing out at these mics? Are you seeing people with new stuff?
I feel like I'm always doing new stuff.
You are. That's why people like you. That's why you are respected, because you actually are doing new things.
That's sweet. I feel insecure about it because I don't feel like I'm allowing my bits to develop. Mm-hmm. And that's another part of it too. So it's like I just fall out of love with what I say a lot. And then I'm like, it's not exciting for me to say. Whereas when I go to say new stuff, I'm like, let's see if this lands. I'm like, I'm giddy, you know, to like try something.
It is fun when a new bit comes out of the box like doing well.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you're like, oh, cool. I do have the ability to like
Yeah.
clock
that's
it, knock it
exciting.
out. Yeah. I have one new thing that's been working, and I'm almost, as long as it works, I like don't care how the rest of the set's going.
For sure.
Which is
Oh,
kind of like, I gotta
absolutely.
stop. Like, I'm here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I'm
I'll
here for
open with
this
this, and I'm
joke.
like, yes, it worked.
All
The
right.
rest of it is like whatever.
Right.
What was really funny is we were at G Spot last.
Uh-huh. Surprised you could find it.
Oh.
Go on. Boom, roasted.
Shit, man, we gotta get her on the next URC.
No, I thought about it because you were like, think about who
Would
you
you
want
do
to
it?
Do what?
Would you do a roast?
It'd have to be a very specific. I've thought about it a lot, and
Okay.
I was like, it has to be this specific context where somebody has to be nasty with me first, where somebody has to call me out or start it with me. Because I was like, no, I like that guy. I was like, no, and then I'm gonna just end up complimenting everybody. Where I'm like, hey, you,
Oh, I was just gonna pull a Matt Kennedy.
you keep trying hard, and I like that about you.
Oh my gosh.
Because I really enjoyed the Johnny roast, but I really feel like I have to like not only know you but kind of love you.
Yeah, that's right. You did good at Johnny's roast.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. But yeah, and I was like, I told Josh, I was like, hey, how long has Johnny been doing it? And he would tell me, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and think of something mean to say, and that was like 2 hours before we got there. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna try and think of something mean to say to Johnny, and that's the thing. They all kept coming out nice, so then I was like, all right, write it nice and then make it nasty. So that's kind of how I do it. But yeah, so I really feel like I'd have to know somebody because I'm so against talking about appearances, you know?
Nope.
Well, I am.
I love it.
I don't like, yeah, I try not, and I'm big on that, like in my regular life too. Like I'm big on like, we don't comment on other people's appearances. You can think that shit in your head, but whatever, you know, kind of a thing. So I would have to know them, you know? So
I feel like mine's like a switch though. Like in my
Mhm.
normal day-to-day life, I don't look to like roast people.
Mhm.
But again, as soon as Noah and I start like
Mhm.
actually, it's like, and he saw he's seen it. He goes, whoa, where'd that come from? Because like once I go into that mode, I was like, oh yeah, I'll tear people apart.
Yeah.
And I also like wasn't bullied when I was a kid, so I don't know where it comes from. Like,
See, that's where I have a hard time like turning the switch off with the thoughts. Like at work, I'm just, if you piss me off, man, like they come instantly.
I'm going to
dude.
text you and I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
that's funny.
So yeah, so if somebody ever called me out, sure. But then, so like, how do you even do it with somebody that you don't really know?
I look up their Instagram and I try to
Oh.
find something about, I try to find where they're from originally, what they do for work, and then maybe like one or two that have to do with their appearance. And then I try to save one for something in the moment. Because if you can do one like off of what they're wearing that day, I feel like up top it shows that you're quick.
Yeah.
And then the other ones, if you hit other aspects of their life, then they're like, oh, this person like actually did their homework.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I've been watching a lot of the Roast Battle League like
Mhm.
ones they post, like the
Yeah.
highest ones, and I'm like, some of them, to be honest, I'm like, it just doesn't look like they did any homework.
Sure.
It doesn't look like they really tried. So like, if you just at least do the pre-work of the person you're supposed to roast, you'll probably be all right, and then you can kind of just trust your instincts to and from. But I find the roasting a lot easier because it has a very clear format.
Yeah.
You look like so and so. You do
Sure.
this, so you're like that. Like
Yeah.
to me, it's almost like a version of Mad Libs.
Yeah.
So I can start from there, and then I can start to get like more creative ones.
Sure.
So that's what I like. Whereas like now I look at like a set. There's so many different ways to construct like a set, and I don't know. Sometimes, do you always feel funny when you go up there? Like you're like ready to be funny and entertain people?
In regular stand up?
Yeah.
No, a lot of the times I want to cry. So it just depends on whatever mood I'm in that day. But
yeah.
yeah, so then I'll get up there and I'll be like, nope, now I do this thing, and then I do it. But yeah, I think that the problem is it's like I think maybe I want to hit too personal in a roast. I want to be like,
I think that's good though. I think
yeah,
you
I want to be like,
should.
that's why your dad's not around, you know?
That's
or like,
what you should do. I see. That's what's great.
But
Okay.
then you have to know that about that person. So
Sure.
yeah,
But you can.
Or if they just look like they don't have a dad.
yeah.
You know?
Well, how
Yeah.
do you look like you don't have a dad?
Hey,
you
some
don't
people
smile
look
a lot.
like it.
Don't smile.
You don't smile a lot. You're always hanging out with the buffest dude in the room. You know,
Uh-huh.
there's signs.
Yeah.
You can be a pick me girl. You know what a pick me girl is?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
We'll move on.
They're the girls that want to be picked.
Yeah, well, they'll almost throw other girls under the bus in front of boys to like, you know, oh, I love football. Like,
yeah.
I just
like I'm not like other girls.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's like the pick me mantra.
Okay.
I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I wanted to retie because we started talking about G-Spot and then you roasted.
And I roasted you.
You fucking destroyed me.
Yes, you were there.
It's like arguing with a middle schooler. Gotcha.
Remember about that?
At G, I think it is actually just called the G. I think everyone started calling it the G Spot. I think the bar's just called the G in Milpitas. But we were there, and I only had that bit that I was talking about. I wanted to do, and as I went up, people started talking immediately. So it was like, do I want to spend this time like trying to battle this room to get attention? So this other guy's talking really, really loud. So I just bring the microphone over and put it in front of his face, kind of invite him to become the person. And then my whole set's just about him. And you guys have seen it at our place. I'll do that with people for like a half hour. At this place, they don't really know me. So everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck's he's about to like do? And I get to let this guy talk. And like, it was one of those nights where it was really bad. Everyone was bombing. Like, had nothing to do with how good you were. Just like the room was not having it.
And have you guys done that room before?
I done it 2 or 3 times. Like, no, I'd only done it twice.
Yeah. Okay.
But what was really funny was I was able to have a little bit of an act with this guy, but I didn't get to really do any jokes. And when he left is when I ended my thing, because he ended like 4 minutes. And I was like, I can't top this. This guy was just too funny. He was really strange. He had a horrible staph infection. He's talking about how Tesla stole all his money. Like, just great, crazy guy stuff. I think the set goes
like a regular at the bar.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. And I was like, this is the most interesting thing that's happened tonight. Like, he's the only guy who should have a microphone. No one wants to hear how great our bits are. No one wants to hear about Falconer. No one wants to hear. They would be like, they wouldn't even know what to do with themselves. And so I get off stage and I'm feeling good about it. And the host goes, I'm so sorry that he stole your set from you. And I was like, I started laughing. So I was like, no, I gave him my set because that was the only thing that was going to go well work tonight. Yeah. But it is funny. I bring it up because where I will invite that level of craziness, a lot of comics won't, and they would look at that as like a loss, which I think is really interesting. Because at the end of the day, I think people forget you're just supposed to be entertaining. Yeah. You can do it any
You still got an on stage. You got a rep. You know, that's how I kind of look at most of them. You know, like you're getting on stage experience, and that's and you're so good at that as far as like crowd work in general.
Thank you.
Because it's something that you've practiced, and I can
it's true,
tell, you know, and it's like, it's not something I practice because again, it's like, I even hate, even now as like an audience member, I hate if like a comedian tries to like wants to start crowd work with me because I'm like, it's not why I came. I actually came to hear about your fucked up situation.
Right.
So I don't ever start crowd work with people because my assumption is people don't want to be crowd worked, but I think that's incorrect. I actually have to start thinking where it's like how I think and feel might be the opposite of how the majority thinks and feels. Yeah. Like more people do actually want to be a part of it.
I would think more people do now than ever because that's all they're getting to see online.
Yes. So they're like, this is what all of comedy is.
Yes.
Which makes sense because, and that's the thing too, is like, I'll switch it up. If there's an audience where it's like, you know, I don't like throwing heckling around. Like, as far as I understand, the definition is heckling is like if the audience starts it with me, you know, it's like crowd work is if I start it with you. And so it's like, I don't like throwing out heckling because a lot of times they're nice. And I'm like, that's nice of you to say. But then I feel like, okay, you just want to be a part of it. And then I'll try to like, you know, have just like little shit to come back with. Yeah. But yeah.
It is hard to develop a muscle for crowd work because when you have to have your own show because you have to have someone willing to let you. And I didn't get good at it until I was giving myself a half hour to an hour a night to try. And not all that was good. Yeah. You know, like maybe 5 minutes of it was useful, but I got a chance to keep working on it. So I do understand that. And then I get that some people are just going into it almost as writers. Like Dakota Fry is a guy, I don't know if you ever met him. He usually wears like a yarmulke and sunglasses.
Oh, then no.
Oh, definitely really good comic. But he's like, he was a screenwriter first. He's like a writing guy. And he's like, oh, I do this because I want to see how good my writing is. So he very rarely is going to go off script. Yeah. He's going to try to work that out. Good roaster too. Nice. He went to He just went to Austin to do a battle at the mothership.
That's cool.
So I was like, oh, that's really sick. He's also, I'll shout them out. He's part of a podcast called Criminal Race Theory. Very funny.
Nice.
Him, Shining. Do you know Shining? Shining's very funny too. And then I think Isaac. Gosh, it's a Jew, an Asian, and a black dude.
You're like, I want to shout them out.
I do want to shout them out, and I realize I don't know
and then
him.
You're like, I don't remember their names.
I don't remember him enough. Well, I know I've had full-on conversations with Shining and Dakota. Don't remember.
Yeah. Good podcast, though.
It's a great podcast.
From what I hear
Lot of very, very funny. Very, very funny. And they're all in Austin right now doing that
awesome.
for the roast battle thing.
That's very cool.
So, I mean, something must be going well there.
I hope they put in for Kill Tony.
I'm sure they did.
I hope.
Shining's in Austin?
Yeah.
Wow, dude, if she got on Kill Tony, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, she would do well. She would do well. She has the right kind of act for like a golden ticket.
That's awesome.
I said we were going to talk about that on the last episode. How to do well on Kill Tony. Like if you want to be a regular. Basically my theory is that Kill Tony has moved from an open mic podcast to the comedy version of the WWE. And so if you want to be a regular, it doesn't really matter how good of a comedian you are. It's more about, are you a personality that people want to see multiple times? And as I did a review of all the golden ticket winners, I actually think it also leads to that. And then, Shane Gillis joked about how if you had a special ability, special ability, if you had a superpower,
that's how to say it. Sure.
Yeah. You're more likely to get on there. But I do think that's true because as much as maybe Tony Hinchcliffe is trying to be Vince McMahon, he's also P.T. Barnum. He's like, come look at my menagerie of goofy goofs. Because I got to be honest, this is going to be controversial. I love
53 of you.
I love William Montgomery's interviews.
I know.
But that's all I like about him.
Whatever. Who cares?
I think Ari's the only like real comedian now.
Ari was just on
Ari
Matt and
Matty.
Shane's.
Yeah, and what's funny is he's also like he breaks the mold outside of his accent. Like he's a handsome guy. He's like all the other ones. Like you wouldn't want to talk to them if you saw them on the street. If you didn't know who they were. Casey Rocket comes up to you in a Denny's.
Casey Rocket walked by us.
Yeah.
But he looked so like sad and focused.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to stop. I kept, every time I didn't say something to somebody, I told Max, I was like, I don't want to be annoying to them. I think they're in a rush right now. But we were right there. And I was like, oh, I got out of his way.
Yeah. I'm saying you see William on the street, don't know who he is, and he comes up to you. You're going to be like, whoa.
I'm so excited.
If you didn't know who he was?
I think so. I think it's just like his energy.
He's
doing kind of that producing kind of, I think maybe like kind of doing that like, oh, I'm just going to go with whatever. He's a true blue yes and. Like if you ever pay attention to like the interview at the end of the show where it's like he's yes anding every ridiculous thing anybody throws at him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And that's where he's definitely in his bag. I was surprised when I watched a compilation of all his minutes, how many of them I actually enjoyed though. I was like, oh, I know. Roll your eyes at me.
Did you watch the first one? Like I told you,
I did.
First minute, so good.
It was all right.
It's so good.
It was all right.
Stop. You're being a contrarian.
I am not. I'm just being honest.
Okay.
Because trust me, I went in wanting to like it. I really did. I was like, I've been watching all the compilations of like the best clips of him during the interview sections, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Like I've never even really seen this guy's minutes. And then I watched him and I'm like, is this like a Sam Hyde like anti-comedy thing? Like he's just trying to kind of shit on the whole idea of stand-up? Because
he's got his own thing. I think it's a version of what Casey also does.
But see, Casey has punchlines.
For sure, and so does William.
I would say, okay.
Their style is different.
Their styles are very different, but to me, at the base of Casey's act is decent writing. There's actually like, whether you can relate to the jokes, there is a very clear like turn. You can see like, here's the misdirection, here's the punch, here's the misdirection, here's the punch. Then on top of that, he runs around. Like then he does all this other stuff, but that's like icing on top of like a pretty solid like base of set. In a way, like William's the exact opposite because he comes out, he literally does the Weekend Update style jokes. He'll like most of his jokes, the first half is a headline.
He is headlining, and so it's like, so yeah, he has his own, I don't know, I think you're contractually obligated to do like 45 or 50, closer to an hour traditionally, so it's like...
That's not what I'm saying, though.
But I know, but he has to write that weekend-style minute every episode because he doesn't need to burn his actual writing. So
I've never seen him do a full-on set like that.
And I haven't either, and I would be excited to see one, but I feel very much that that's why he does that style now.
I have, actually.
Boom.
What did you think?
It was like his minutes, but he's doing 15 1 minutes.
That sounds cool and interesting.
It was choppy.
Well, you don't, and that's the thing too, is like we don't know what part of the process you're seeing those jokes either.
I love watching her defend him.
Yeah,
this
well,
is
because
funny.
that's the thing too, is I have very few very strong opinions, and it's just like I'm actually like super lame about comedy, about it like being a craft and an art, and like you can't whatever with one artist and another, but it's like, yeah, but that's the problem.
But you can
too.
like and dislike something, though.
That's sure, but I'll tell you why you're wrong. And
exactly. Like, but
no, he could be so, that could be the first time he did it.
What I will say is,
and then it's like,
this is a ridiculous defense. I just want you to
it
know,
could be
like,
the first
this
time
is
he's
not...
like, I want to do these 4 jokes, right? Like, and that's like that
Okay.
15-minute bit, and that could be the first time he's doing it in that way, or it could be the first time that he's like introducing one of them.
Sure.
So we don't know how far it is in his development of those jokes. Is my only defense.
I was going to say
it
it was probably his best 15 because it was funny all the way through, and he did not use notes. I was impressed by that. He didn't use his notes for it, which I thought he was.
Now what? Jared?
Wait.
Yeah. Boom. In your face. Me and Noah versus you.
I don't like it.
Did Jared tell you I met Cam Patterson and I cried?
Oh, I didn't know you cried.
I cried. It was so embarrassing, but it's whatever. So, but here's what I thought about it a lot, because obviously I couldn't think about anything else after it happened. But we didn't meet at the festival. We were in like the lobby of a casino, and I told Max, I was like, I think that's Cam, and he was like, no, and then I was like, yeah, and he was like, with 2, I assume his cousins, and then his friends.
Why did you assume they were his cousins?
He calls everybody his friend, his family, and his cousins on the show. He's always like, oh yeah, my whole family's back there. That's what he says. So anywho, and I'll tell you that part later. And then, so then I was like, I think it was Cam. And then I checked down and he was wearing slides. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Cam. And then I went up and so I wasn't like at the festival. I wasn't like, okay, there's going to be a bunch of comedians. Because I got to tell a lot of comedians that I think super highly of them. Like Brendan Sagalow and Yamanika Saunders.
No idea who they are.
Very funny. And so we kept stopping people and like shaking their hand and be like, I think you're so funny and you're whatever. And I love what you're doing. But I wasn't prepared to meet Cam. Like, it was like, that's not where we're supposed to meet.
Right.
You know, I'm supposed to wait in line and then I'll be thinking about in line
I
what I'm gonna say.
love like when you were talking about how you thought the weekend was going to go too. Like your visualization is so specific.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting.
Oh,
I'm
going
sorry
to take
that,
interesting in a positive way. Thank you.
Oh, you should. I'm not shitting on you.
I know.
I am sorry none of it happened the way you wanted to.
Oh, nope.
Statistically wasn't going to happen the way you wanted to, but
I mean,
I still was rooting for you.
Schmishpicks, you know?
Don't know what that means.
Like pish posh. You get it? No, gets it?
Yeah.
Statistics, smish.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it.
For sure.
It's a hard word. Anyway, so then Cam was there, and then I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so sorry. Are you Cam? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, actually, I started crying. I was like, okay, actually, never mind. I'm going to cry. And then his friend or cousin or family, I don't know their relation. We didn't get into it. But he was like, no, come back. We're all going to hug. And I was like, okay. And then we all hugged. And then I was like, I'm sorry. I just I look up to you.
I have to ask, were you the whitest person in that hug?
The white person in that hug.
What a sight. What a sight. Cam brings all of his cousins to hug a white woman.
No,
okay.
No, he was so sweet. And I saw him the next day and I was like, hi, sorry, are you Cam's cousin? And he was like, yeah. And then I was like,
oh, I'm not. The funny part isn't that they're brother cousins or not. It's just the image of a bunch of.
yeah, it was so nice. And then so the next day I
Comedian
saw him.
brings 6 friends to meet a stepmom. That's how I see
No, I like approached him. I made him miss his elevator, which is annoying at the
That's
casino
so
we were all.
annoying.
So turns out like all the like Kill Tony guys were staying at that casino.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I know. I was so stoked. So anyway, so I was just like, and I told Max, I was like, because then obviously I thought about it for the next 12 hours, and I was like, I think I got so emotional because I wasn't prepared because it wasn't the right setting in my brain.
Right.
But also it was like, he's just doing it. He's just doing the thing that we all want to do, you know, which is like strictly make money on comedy, and people love him, you know? And so it's just like, he's doing the thing that we all want to do. And it's like, not that I'm not already around comedians all the time, but it's like at that, like just kind of bumping into somebody who's like doing it how you want on the level.
Well, and that's what's funny is because he's only like 3 years in too.
And that makes me feel so good about being like 8 months in.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was just like, I just look up to what you do a lot, and you killed it last night, because we saw them at the Kill Tony Theater before that. So yeah, so that was it. And then the next day I saw his cousin, and I was like, excuse me, are you Camp's cousin? And then he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm the girl who cried. You were so nice to me. And he laughed, and he's like, not the girl who cried. And then we hugged again. And that was awesome. Oh, and then I met David Jolly.
Who is that?
Oh,
Well,
man, he's crazy.
I love it. Well, I'm not going to do his bit, but whenever I do, I think of his opening line. And so so Cam says he's his uncle, but I don't think he's his actual uncle. I think in like the family kind of way that you say it. But yeah, so I got to meet David Jolly.
Cool.
That was cool too. And then we walked close to Casey Rocket.
Yeah, I remember we saw Casey in San Jose.
Did you do a meet and greet after?
No, none of them did. Well, we bounced pretty soon after anyway.
Matt did. Matt McCusker.
Oh my God.
Almost cried, but I had the line to prepare. I was like, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to get up there. And I was beating myself up after I cried meeting Cam. I told Max, I was like, there's not a way I'm going to meet Shane. I can't talk to Shane. I was like in my head. And then I was so sad because like, I was like, oh, I'm going to tell Shane how much I love the podcast and whatever, like how much his comedy means to me. And then it's like, we got 2 feet from him and I couldn't make words. I was like, fucking words are dead. But he was in a rush. And so it's like, I don't want to be annoying. And it was a very confusing because there was a bunch of different theater rooms. And so he was very clearly like, I don't know if I should be over here, if I should be over there, or how do I get there? And I don't want to be like, just then start crying.
Right.
Like, that's not cool to do to somebody, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, can't do it. Gotta not.
Good for you. Way to be the bigger person. Fight your urges.
Sure. I mean, I cried when I met Cam, you know, and so.
Yeah, but I mean, that was, like you said, it was sprung up on you.
And then we had a very emotional trip with like Max didn't feel well. And he ended
Were
up.
you moving around too fast? Did he get motion sickness?
No, he was like, I thought he was faking it, and he wasn't. He was actually sick.
Is that something he does? He fakes it? He's just getting you back?
I almost always assume that he's like being dramatic about it every time he's sick. I'm always like,
my God.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know? And that's because of my upbringing. And that's the upbringing I had. Like, my mom heavily instilled in us, like, everything weird you feel in your body is just gas. And like, and so the amount of times I'm like, it's probably just gas. But like, my dad one time, for real, he tried to walk off what ended up being kidney stones on both sides.
Oh.
Yeah, kidney stones on both sides.
That's
and he was
horrible.
like trying to walk it off. He's like, it's just gas. I'm just going to walk it off. And then he had to go to the emergency room, and he's fine because that was years ago. But I'm just letting you know how heavily ingrained it is in all of us that everything
It's
is
just gas.
It's just gas.
Do you have an insane amount of gas X at your house then?
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too, where it's like, I actually don't like taking stomach medication. Like, Max keeps Pepto-Bismol in business. So it's just like the amount of Pepto-Bismol I've bought since we've been together is wild. And we keep it in the refrigerator. I don't know if that's a common thing.
What?
Is to, right?
I think after you open it, you are supposed to.
So that's what we do.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I keep it in the cabinet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the label.
I think he just thinks it goes down better when it's cold.
Are you supposed to shake
Probably
it
because
too?
it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, I don't take it. Yeah, so but yeah, I think you do shake it. Like any liquid, you're gonna want to shake it So like if you have any liquid medications, you're going to want to shake it because like the medicine will fall to the bottom and then you'll have like a really heavy shot.
Oh, I'm never
You're
shaking
so
it
young,
again.
and so I'm like actually telling you in the same way I tell our son, where I'm like, anytime you get amoxicillin, you shake it up really good, like all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm never shaking it again.
Yeah, so Max has.
Yeah, but that's because amoxicillin is reconstituted when you receive it. It's a powder that the technician puts water in and then has to shake it up.
I don't get it because I'm allergic, and penicillin. I can't have any of the cillins.
Wow, you can't get sick then.
They have other ones.
Yeah, probably ciprofloxacin or some of those other ones.
No, nothing that ends in a cillin. I can't have. Anywho, I thought Max was like, "Oh, I have a sore throat," and then he went to wherever Kaiser, and then
Don't know what that was about.
and then they did like a strep test, and then they were like, it's negative, and his fever broke. So then we went, and then he felt like shit, and then we went to the urgent care, and then in Las Vegas, and they were like, oh, you have tonsillitis. So they gave him a steroid and a bunch of other stuff, amoxicillin, and then he was just in like so much pain. So then we changed our flights to come home early, and then we went right to the emergency room, and he turned out to have an abscess on his tonsil that they drained like on the spot, and they drained like 25 milliliters of pus out of it.
Oh man.
And so then I'm like, I guess he was in pain. You know, I was like, all right, fine, whatever.
Oh, gosh, that's horrible.
So it Skankfest didn't go how I thought, but
When I was trying to explain to my parents that you went to an event called Skankfest, they were like, run that by me again. I was like, how does that work? I'm like, well, look, she's a skank, and that's where all the skanks go to enjoy the Legion of Skanks.
No, Jared talked about me to his parents. That's so sweet. What else did you say?
I said she ended up hugging a bunch of black dudes there. It was a little
Check. That part went just how I planned.
What else did I say? I don't remember. I think it was just because I was talking about the show, and I was like, yeah, Kaitlin, my friend Kaitlin and I are doing a show, and it's so weird. It's incredible that you bagged Max and were able to get married, because I feel like every time you brought up like being intimate with people, you go about it in the weirdest way.
For sure. I have a few jokes about intimacy, and they're 100% true.
Oh my gosh.
But anywho, when you were talking about Ronnie and like your guys' meet cute, kind of, I guess. Your guys' is like hook up cute. I don't know. We'll figure out a word. I was like, that's crazy. Max hated me when he met me. So
did Ronnie. Ronnie hated me too.
Oh, well.
She thought I was super obnoxious.
Not that interesting then. I would think he would use that same word to describe me now and then.
I don't think you make the decision to put a microphone in front of your face as often as possible if there's a little bit of obnoxicity in you.
You got something not going on up top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The whole not thinking somebody's sick, though, pretty funny. When I was probably 24, 25, I went to a local bar out here. I had one drink, and I think what happened was, I think the keg might have popped or something. Like I consumed some nitrous. Like, so I only had one beer, and I felt really sick. I went home, and my mom had thought I had driven home drunk. So I started trying to throw up when I got home, and she was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, you're so unsafe. And I'm like, no, trust me. Like, I only had one drink. Like, something's not right. And she was like, well, I'm not helping you because you are like, I can't believe that you did that. So I just keep throwing up like all night for like 13 hours. And like about hour 6 or 7, because I start getting delusional because I can't go to sleep. Anytime I'm just hanging out in the toilet, it's like Saw, like the episode of Saw, first Saw. Like I kept puking. Anytime I tried to drink water, I immediately threw it up. And I was like, Mom, I need you to take me to the hospital. Like, something's not right. Like, she's like, no, you're just drunk. You're like, once you're done throwing up, like, you'll be fine. And I was like, no, I swear, like, something is not going well. Not till like probably 6 or 7 in the morning the next day. My mom goes to sleep, wakes up, she goes, you're still puking? She's like, there might be something wrong with you. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, something is not right. And I ended up, I don't think you actually ended up going to the hospital. Eventually it stopped, but To this day, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I must have consumed something else because the beer did taste really weird.
Yeah.
I remember having it going like, oh, I don't really like this, but
Maybe it was a roofie.
What?
Maybe it was a roofie.
Maybe, but then I wouldn't have remembered it, right?
I don't know.
Never
Well, you're trying to throw it up.
Possibly. But it was funny because, like, yeah, for the first, like, 6-7 hours, mom's like, you're just being a dumbass.
Moms be like, yeah, for sure.
Good stuff.
Mhm.
My mom, too, though, she's also, I remember one time she had a really bad allergic reaction because she's allergic to chicken.
Wow.
And there was, like, a cross-contamination at her dinner.
Mm-hmm. Allergic to chicken. I've never heard.
Yeah, I know.
Could she have eggs?
I think so.
That's weird.
And I think she
on.
also have chicken broth.
Weird.
I know.
Well, but she probably can't have chicken stock then. So broth is just made with the bones, and like the stock is made from like the chickeny bits.
The chickeny bits?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
You had
your
such
mom,
a hot start with that explanation, though. I was waiting for you to go full.
Also, I could have fucked it up. It could have been backwards. It could have been broth is made with the chickeny bits, and the stock is made with the bones. But I don't think I did. I think I had it right the first
I was
time.
really enjoying this Bill Nye the Science Guy from you, though.
No, it's just if you like fuck around with cooking ever.
You ever fuck around with cooking?
You ever fuck
dog?
around cooking? I prefer to use chicken stock. What's up? Go on. So your mom can't have chicken, and there was a work event, and she was cross-contaminated.
Close. It was her birthday.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was her birthday, and we went to the Elephant Bar. And
I'm sorry,
I
Mrs.
think-
Camacho.
yeah.
I hope that we're friends.
And I think that there was a cross-contamination with, in the back. They must have cooked something where it got cross-contaminated. Because we go back home, and she starts kind of breathing heavy because she normally gets, like, really bad hives when it happens. Or, like, and what was really crazy was she goes upstairs to her room, and I think she takes a Benadryl or something, and she's laying on her bed, and it's, like, dark where you can't see her face. You can, like, see her feet. My mom's making this weird, like... I'm like, you?
Spooky.
Yeah, I was like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then her face comes into the light, and her face is 2 times as big as it's supposed to be. Like, she couldn't really open her eyes. And I was like, we need to go to the hospital, like, right now.
Uh-huh.
She's like, no, it's fine. I took some Benadryl. It's going to be good. And I was like, no.
She should have taken 2 Benadryls.
Yeah, well, we ended up having to take her all the way to Walnut Creek, and they gave her an EpiPen. And the doctor was like, yeah, if you guys hadn't taken her, she would have died. She would have like suffocated.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's so crazy.
Have an EpiPen?
She does now.
Okay, good,
Before
'cause
that,
she has such a
she'd never
severe-
had an issue like that. She's
Yeah.
always been really good about not.
It gets, like, you can, like, I'm growing into allergies, you know, that kind of a thing. Yeah, I can't have shellfish anymore.
That sucks.
I know. I used to really fuck with shellfish, like, heavy, but I can't have it now.
She used to fuck around with cooking. She used to fuck with the shellfish.
And now I don't, you know, now I don't do anything.
It's just funny because you don't even need to cook seafood.
Yeah. No, what's your mom like?
My mom,
She's great. She texts me all the time on Instagram.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's cool. I don't think she can have shellfish either.
Yeah?
Yeah, that
Wow.
scares
You
me,
might
man.
grow into it
I
then.
hate that.
You might grow into that.
because I have it all the time.
So
I don't want to
keep
puff
Benadryl
up.
on you.
You don't have any food all the time. What are you talking about?
You have food. You eat food.
Kid eats every 3 days. What do you mean all the time?
I just seen him at Chick-fil-A.
It's a waste of time.
I know. This will be the only meal he has until, Sunday night.
That's wild. So she can't have shellfish?
I don't think so. No, she just doesn't like fish. Yeah.
My mom also hates the taste of fish.
Yeah.
I really only like salmon.
Salmon's good because it's
I
very
eat
fatty
tuna
fish.
a lot, like tuna out of the can.
Tuna's very good
I
too.
do that because I'm big on my proteins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to have a lot of protein within the hour that I work out.
Smart.
Yeah.
Do you
Heard
have
about it on a podcast somewhere.
Do you have any goals for like your fitness? Are you trying to like lift a certain amount?
No. We've talked about it, that I was a lot heavier at one point. Or
Oh,
no.
you did. I forgot that you said that.
Yeah, I was like 50 pounds heavier than I am now. And so I just now teeter on being in a healthy BMI, but like the 0.9 to where I can be for my height.
Okay.
For a BMI, which I think
Still though, you lost 50 pounds.
to be fair, BMIs I think are like people say they're problematic.
Are they?
I think that's a thing that the girls are saying. That BMIs
Well,
are
I mean, hey,
problematic.
if the girls are saying it.
Then we thought about it for a long time. But
Totally.
but yeah, no, so I was heavier for a lot. So a lot of it was like, I remember like 20, I was like, no, it's 21. And then I was trying to do math. But maybe at like 26, I think I started getting into it where I was like, hey, I lose my breath taking the laundry upstairs.
No matter how fit you are, though, that happens.
Is that what happened? Oh,
because
I'll tell you,
I used to. I'm still actually one of the heaviest I've ever been, but I think I'm a lot stronger than I was the first time I was this weight.
Yeah.
And it was just all fat.
Yeah.
And like that was the catalyst for me that I was like, oh, I'm having trouble getting up the stairs because I worked at a hospital where I always had to park on the top, and I would try to take the stairs as like kind of like be good for myself. But I remember it being really hard one day, and I was like, dude, I gotta stop eating like crap, and like I ended up losing like 60 pounds. And I
way to one up me.
And I went up those stairs, and I still felt like shit. And I was like, oh, I think just going upstairs sucks.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter how good you. Because I was in very, very good shape at that point. Like I was really about it. And I actually got down to the smallest I had ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Going up those stairs, I'm like, this.
And how did that feel, being the smallest?
It was cool because at the time I was in ROTC for the Marines, and I was really like, that's what I wanted to do with my life, was I wanted to join the Marine Corps. And so it was easy for me to motivate myself because I was like, I have to be in the best physical shape I can like possibly be. But I'm already think I'm getting off the question. What was the question exactly?
I don't remember. No, I do. It was, how did it feel being the smallest?
I just felt like I could move around really easily.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
you weren't like,
no.
Then you were like, oh, I'm so little.
I was slightly bigger than Noah. Like,
you guys can't see him. Noah's kind of little.
It's quite skinny guy. But and how much are you clocking in at?
Okay, well that's not what we ask people.
How much do you weigh?
That's not what we ask people. No, we don't talk about that.
I'm not going to ask you. I'm just asking him because I want to know.
You don't have to answer that.
I haven't checked in a while, man. But I think like closer to 130.
You're 130. Okay.
Closer
go
to
off,
130.
Noah.
So
Noah just being like
the smallest I ever got was 158.
Okay.
So again, I only asked him for context.
That's my smallest, and that's how I live right now.
See, I
Good
hate
for you. Now, see, I'm clocking in at 203.
Yeah, so I can be like 159.9 for my height, as far as like the old school BMI.
Now, see, first of all, you're like, don't ask, but then you just elected to give it.
I'm happy to tell, but I would never ask somebody what they weigh.
Oh, boys, I don't think it's that weird for us to ask each other, especially if you're in the gym.
You do that in the gym?
Well, yeah, because you want to know how much.
I only work out in private.
I think it's very normal for guys that are like going to the gym, especially if you can lift a certain amount, because you only know how strong someone is, how much they lift versus how much they weigh. So if someone's like, oh, I bench press 225, and you're like, okay, but how much do you weigh? If they only weigh like 200, that's not as impressive as if they weigh 170 and can do 225 because it's relative to their body weight.
That's crazy to like lift more than your body weighs.
That was the thing that we had in our high school. It was called the Iron Falcon Award. You had to lift 65 pounds over your weight. Yeah. I was in.
What does that have to do with being a falcon? Is that how falcons do?
That was our mascot. We were the Foothill Falcons, and we literally had the Atlanta Falcons logo just in a different color.
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, not on the podcast, but we did talk about that. Nice. Well, that's good. Don't fucking rewrite the wheel, or whatever they say.
That's exactly what they say.
Is it?
Don't rewrite the wheel.
Fuck yeah, nailed it.
You tore it up, man.
Yeah, no, stairs do suck though, because like I go up the elevator, man, and like I weigh nothing, and I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
It is just one of those
like
exercises.
Hardcore, out of breath.
Yeah, but no, I don't. So mostly it's just to maintain, because like I eat like bad,
and
I won't stop. Whatever. Like I went to the doctor. Sorry. I went to the doctor. Jared doesn't like for us to go more than an hour, and I just feel like he hates this all so much. But I love it so much because we can
that
just
is
talk.
so funny. I'm not
longer.
tripping on it all. We're already at an hour 40.
I know, because then it's more work though. I think for editing.
It's okay. I was prepared to go 2 hours, and I was only going to say something at the 2 hour mark.
So I went to the doctor. Well, so funny thing. I went through this like weird period of like everything tasted funny. Like everything had like a weird taste in my mouth. Like
Did you just have COVID?
Well, I had it relatively close to that, but like it had been done, it had been over, whatever, which sucked. I don't know if you guys got COVID.
I've gotten it twice.
Sucked bad.
Both times pretty shitty.
Yeah. Had it?
I had it once. It was bad, but it was just weird.
Yeah.
Weird feeling.
Yeah. It hit us all pretty hard.
Headaches for me.
Headaches for you?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I could only, what was funny? I couldn't smell anything that smelled bad normally.
Oh.
Which I was like, this is sick. Like, because we have so much dog at our house. We have like 500 pounds of dog at our house. And
Like chopped up?
No. Alive and walking around. That's just, there's 4 dogs at my house. My dog is the smallest dog. He's a bulldog. He's 60 pounds. So he's the smallest dog at our house. And then we have his brother. He's probably like 70 pounds. And then we have my parents' Great Danes. The small one is what, $130. The small one weighs what Noah weighs, and then the big one.
Yo, her fucking flip flop on this weight thing is incredible.
Well, if we're comfortable, we can
we
cut
don't
this
ask people
out.
their weight.
Jared's
My
teaching me how
dog.
to cut stuff
Dude,
out.
I have a joke about that.
Do
Yeah,
you?
we're going through a doggy door like a dog. Yeah.
Dude, the big one's 180, is $180. So it's like
Big boy.
I can't walk him on my own because he's got weight on me.
Yeah.
I just got strong enough that I can walk the 2 bulldogs at the same time by myself because they would both fucking whatever. But yeah, so I got a little bit of weight on them combined. So I can handle that.
My parents' dog's like probably 140.
Yeah, small.
And Ronnie's smaller than that, significantly smaller than that. And it was really funny because she's never really been around a dog that was big. Her whole family always bought like little oversized rats is what
Manageable.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. And so it's just really funny because the dog is always really excited to see her. And she was like, Luna, stop. And Luna jumped up on her and fucking sent her into the wall, like displaced her. And it was so funny that like it took me a second to do the right thing and like grab the dog and like get her off.
Yeah.
She like stood up all like, Luna, stop. And Luna just roam.
That's the right thing to do, though, is to like assert your
It
dominance.
is,
and use your big
but you
girl
also
voice.
got to bend your knees.
For sure. What kind of dog?
It's a German Shepherd mix.
With
Like German Shepherd Lab, I think.
wow, that sounds like fun.
I'll show you pictures. Cute.
Cool.
Very
I
cute.
don't have pictures. I just have pictures of mine.
You don't have pictures of my dog on your phone?
No, or my parents' dogs. Just my dog.
Got it.
Yeah. But
Makes
no, I'll
sense.
put some pictures of Luna on my phone. I went to the doctor because everything I would eat something or drink something and everything tasted weird, and I'm addicted to Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi.
I really like Diet Coke.
Not like I do, but like I drink a lot of it. Just saying. And so
Okay.
after I would drink it, I would get this weird like metal taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what's going on? I went to the dentist. I started there because that's a relatively new thing I've started doing in the last like couple years. So side quest story. I didn't go to the doctor to the dentist doctor because they are doctors. Respect. I didn't go to the dentist until I was like 27.
Did you ever have any cavities? You look like you have nice teeth.
Thank you. Well, that's why I didn't have to go. My dad was like, my brother went constantly when we were growing up because he had so many cavities. But my dad was like, you have the good teeth. You don't have to go. And I was like, nice. So our
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
In a second. Like your family is so interesting.
Yeah. Well, so my dad, I'm working on a bit, and that's annoying to try it out on the podcast. But like my dad was
Jonathan Light will make fun of you for it.
Will he?
He's been posting about it on Facebook.
Then I won't.
He's like, I don't want to hear your new 5 that I heard off your podcast.
I love that though. I actually love that.
No, I know. I immediately saw it and I was like, I hope Kaitlin doesn't look at
Because
Facebook.
you
She's going to feel
hear-
triggered.
Because you hear the real story on the podcast, and then it's like anybody that you're a fan of, and then if you hear something,
I
from
think
the
he likes you.
podcast-
I'm sure he wouldn't care if you did it.
We met like one time, and I think he's tremendously funny. Just off of that interaction, like I've never actually seen him do stand up. We were just like talking, like in line, and so
Literally half of Rogan's bits, dude.
Oh, I know. And he posted, Rogan don't even got 5. That was what he immediately posted. After that, he's all, how you going to be the most famous guy on the planet and not have 5?
Well, yeah, that's the problem. He's the most famous guy on the planet. Everybody knows his stories. But yeah, our kid went to the dentist a lot because he has a lot of teeth problems. Max has a lot of teeth problems, and I was
All
like,
right, we're gonna stop talking about Max this much.
so, oh my bad.
He's catching way too many strays this episode.
That's fine. I guess genetically some people's teeth are bad. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not like he can do anything about it besides floss and brush and stuff. But
The basic things
actually
you
a
do.
lot of things you could do. No, but I was like, dang, my kid goes to the dentist a lot. I should be a good role model and I should find a dentist. So then I had to find a dentist. So I've only been like, I could count on one hand how many times I've been to the dentist. But I had one cavity that one time
Okay.
I went, but it didn't hurt. So I don't think that one counts. But anyway, the dentist said, she's like, there's nothing wrong with your mouth. And she was like, you know what? Maybe it's a weird COVID because it was like closer to when COVID was new. And she was like, maybe it's a weird COVID thing. I was like, I also thought maybe it was a weird COVID thing. And then I went to my doctor. She was not happy. I was like, hey, I get a weird taste in my mouth after everything I eat. And sometimes if I don't eat, like I'll have this weird taste in my mouth. And she was really upset that my dentist sent me to a doctor because she was like, well, she didn't go to doctor school. And I was like, I'm not a part of this beef. And she said, you have acid reflux. And I was like, nah. I was like, I don't have acid. And then she was like, yeah, no, that weird taste you're describing, that is acid reflux. She's like, what's your diet like? And I was like, bad. And then she's like, okay, so don't eat so bad. And I was like, I'm gonna keep eating bad.
I ain't never gonna stop.
Never. I'm gonna continue to eat poorly. I'm not gonna lie to you. Why am I gonna lie to my doctor? I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna go eat a vegetable. Get off me. So then, so I was like, what else do we do?
That's gonna be a T-shirt.
Get off me. I was like, so what do we do if I'm not going to stop? And then so she was like, all right, I'll prescribe you an antacid. She's like, take one every night. And then when you think you can stop. And then I thought I could stop a few times and I can't. So I get acid reflux.
So she was right though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now I don't get the weird taste anymore, but I have to take generic for Pepsid every night before bed.
Whoa. No,
Which
what's
I'm
so
happy
bad?
with.
What are you eating?
So much bad. All bad. I don't not eat processed foods, kind of a thing.
What the heck? Do you know how much better you'd feel if you stopped?
I understand.
Just a little Whole Foods
I raised
trip.
you with healthy foods taste gross. So pass.
All right.
Anytime I have a healthy food, I have to put an unhealthy food on it to eat it.
That's incredible.
So like I only eat broccoli steamed and like with mayonnaise. Like I won't not eat it with mayonnaise. And like we'll be at restaurants and I'll be like, I want to order broccoli, but I'm embarrassed to order mayonnaise. And then I'll just won't. And then I'll get like 2 starches. I'll get like a rice and a potato dish.
Those are all good though. Those are whole foods.
I don't know. Then they have like butter and salt and fat.
Butter and salt's fine though.
Yeah, well,
All real
so
stuff.
actually I eat super healthy. Forget everything
You
I
just
said.
got to stay away from seed oils. That's the big killer.
Obviously. Because those are in
Everything.
Well, then that's
fries,
what I'm eating.
French fries are cooked in seed
Yeah, I
oil.
eat a lot of fried foods.
Yeah, so all the fried stuff is those seed oils, and that stuff's not great for you.
Yeah. How are you with your diet? Are you like stringent, or are you like, because you have a lot of In-N-Out apparel.
I have a lot of In-N-Out apparel. I
Right.
do. I don't go to In-N-Out nearly as much as the apparel would warrant,
Sure.
if that's the question.
I don't know.
I just was given the shoes as a gift, and then I was given the shoes and the gifts as a hat, or as shoes and the hat as a gift. In one thing. It was like for my birthday. And then I got the other color after Kayla made a big stink about wanting shoes just like it. And so to rub it in her face, because I'm running my own reality TV show, I showed up with another color and then would mix and match them. And she's like, wait, you got them in a different color, you didn't buy me any? And I was like, yeah. Because I wanted to see how she felt about that. And she ended up hitting me in the face, which was funny. Because Noah was there. Noah and Tyler were there. What was the original question?
How do you eat?
I actually eat pretty healthy, but I always eat too much.
Yeah, you knew what a seed oil was.
Yeah, but I eat too
oil.
much. My biggest problem is always like my portion control.
Oh, yeah.
It's not what I'm eating. It's the amount that I eat it.
I do both.
Yeah, and I think I go through like periods where I do eat poorly. Like if I'm on my own schedule and stuff, which also I'm a big creature of like routine, because that's when I'm at my best, is if I have the same thing kind of going on throughout the week, so I can tackle everything. But as soon as things start to get out of whack, it's very easy for me to kind of fall off my program, so to speak. But I eat a lot of sushi because sushi is pretty healthy and it's really low calorie and like really filling. So anytime I can get sushi, even if it's just like from Safeway or something like that, like I would try to eat that first. I eat a lot of popcorn because like popcorn's, as far as like fast food,
versus chips is better.
100%.
Right.
Because especially now I eat a certain, it's going to sound like I'm doing a sponsor, but there's a certain popcorn called Lesser Evil that doesn't use oil. They air fry it. So then it's not even.
Lesser Evil, shout out.
Yeah. They're very, and it's pretty good.
What is it called? Sponsor the podcast.
Yeah. It's good stuff. And then outside of that, like today I ate steak and like a baked potato.
Nice.
So my whole thing is just try to eat real food as
Sure.
much as you can. Again, like the processed stuff, like I try to stay away from that as much as possible. Don't always do it, but again, like the seed oil thing is something I found out about recently, and it's in a lot more stuff that I was kind of like fucking around eating. Then I'm like, I'm now gonna start trying to not eat that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh.
One of the ways I found out I have a poor diet is I was talking with a friend and I was like, oh yeah, let's go get sandwiches. And they're like, I want to eat healthy. And I was like, oh no, a sandwich is my healthy meal. I was like, that's when I'm like, I want to feel light today. I want to eat a sandwich. And they were like, no. And so I was
Where
like,
do you go for your sandwiches though?
I mean, there we worked really close to a Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles is good sandwiches. They're
Good
very yummy.
sandwiches, I think.
And I think you can eat a sandwich that's like, it's again, what are you throwing a bunch of shit on it? Like, because to me, a sandwich can be meat, bunch of veggies. The bread's not great for you. But
Bread's
again,
the best.
if it's the only bit of bread you're having for the day, then you know.
I do normally do like one big meal just because it's like I do intermittent fasting. So then when I break fast, I'm like, let's put as much food in my body as possible.
Yeah, I ran it that way too.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I got any real results because I like overindulged in that. I've lost way more weight doing multiple meals because I think in my head I go like, oh, I don't have to like worry about surviving till this time again the next day. But
And Noah, you only eat every 3 days?
Yeah, no, I eat like, I have 3 meals during the day, but it's like my first meal is after 1, and then I have dinner, and then I have a meal at like 11:30.
Cute. Little bedtime snack, I hope.
Yeah, after
You're
a
going to
mic.
bed?
Yeah,
Nice.
after a mic. Every single, yeah, and it's all bad. It's all bad, but I don't gain weight, so it's cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. You come from, is that like genetics? Is that
I
like,
think it is.
you have a lean
yeah,
family?
one side of my family, there's a lot of fat people, and then the other side, there's a lot of skinny people. So I got the skinny side.
nice.
Yeah,
there's another factor too. There's
What's
another
the-
there's another thing that you do all the time which helps.
What, smoke?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make you hungry?
So nicotine actually,
different smoking.
yeah, it burns calories and stuff. And then
Nice.
weed, like I've been smoking weed so often, I smoke all day. So it, like the munchies aren't really like a thing for me. Like I'm alive. So like this isn't gonna, it's not gonna make me more hungry.
No.
Yeah, no.
And how do you feel about bread?
Bread's great. Bread and butter.
Right? Isn't bread the best?
Yeah. The brown
It
bread.
is good.
The brown bread out of the Cheesecake Factory. That's
So you're no
pristine.
bullshit about your bits. You are big on the Cheesecake
Oh,
Factory.
I'm so big on it. That's a literally, dude. Wait, I have a tactic to open that door now. Fucking put the foot
well, don't
on
tell
the
me
door.
now. Do it on
and-
stage. Do it on stage.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm not even gonna
Piss
talk
off John
about
Light.
Wait. Oh yeah, no.
Bring it up here and then take it to the stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Where
I
he can
would.
go, little boy ain't even got 5 on him.
No, that I don't. But
Noah has a lot of time. I think Noah could do 15 or 20 minutes easily because I think he's a very talented young man. Go on.
20 would be so long. But yeah.
Saying that, and I really think you could do it. I'm doing it different what you do, where I'm doing it nice, where I'm like, you can do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What do
No,
I do?
You're like, you're gonna do a, what is it? Hosting. You're gonna do a hosting and you have to.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it like, you could if you wanted.
But I always end up liking whatever Jared tells me to do. Like I didn't think I would like improv.
Oh, you like it?
Now I kind of like it. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I know what's best for people most of the time.
What were we talking about? Food?
Bread.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the Cheesecake Factory bread is like really good. Warm.
Can't you buy the bread?
Yes.
I like that you're like, yes, you can.
A lot of that stuff, yeah, you can
That's
buy it
how
a
I
la
make
carte
my
now, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love bread too. Bread is just one of those things. For me, carbs make me fat so fast.
I know.
I just
they're
have
the
to let them
best.
go. Have you ever tried any of those keto breads though?
Max eats it. Sorry. Oh,
Uh-oh. Limited space remaining. Oh, yeah, because we only got a couple more minutes left.
the machine cut us off.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about keto bread. Keto bread's not
No,
real
okay,
bread.
let's wrap it up. We'll get all into that next episode.
I'm back for
What,
this.
for the keto bread breakdown?
I'm back. When we get
Come
into
on, Matt.
funny shit.
What do we got? You gotta see what we got ready for you.
Low fat mayonnaise talk.
This
Go on.
is shitty nutrition facts with
Yeah.
Kaitlin and Jared.
Woo! This has been another comedy podcast.
It sure has been. Do you have anything to say, Noah, before we cut it off?
Nah, I know.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. Right now, we just have a YouTube channel. We'll get like an Instagram going and all that. But follow it at Another Comedy Pod on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. We love you.